see if this is in YouTube. And we're live.
From the industrial wastelands of Michigan to the fruited plains of Iowa, this is the American Greed Factory.
Why relate to its sheer perversity?
You are the dead. Remain exactly where you are. Make no move until you are ordered.
We burn them to ashes and then burn the ashes. That's our official motto.
Now we can see you. Clasp your hands behind your heads. Stand out in the middle of the room. Stand back to back.
Who can explain the fascination of fire? What draws us to it, whether we're young or old?
Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head.
And welcome to the American Greed Factory podcast. This is Nathan.
This is Colin.
Andrew?
All right, everyone's here. The gang's all here. So at least two of the three of us are now broadcasting without appendixes. So that was, in case everyone was wondering, that's why I wasn't here last Saturday, because I was recovering from an appendectomy, which was not really that big of a deal to recover from, but I can't do a lot as far as lifting things or anything for a couple weeks. Thought I had a stomach ache, took Thursday off work. Took Thursday off work, went and saw the doctor Thursday. He sent me in for a CT scan Friday morning, which I was lucky to be able to get in that quick. Drank a bunch of barium. They scanned me, and 20 minutes on my way home, another doctor's calling me like, yeah, you need to get in the emergency room right now. Your appendix is like fucking huge. Well, he didn't say it like that, but I was like, okay, well, let me get my stuff together and I'll head in there. He goes, no, you need to just really head in there as quickly as you can. I was like, yeah, okay, I will. So I came home, gathered my stuff, went to the hospital. Probably went into the hospital at 11 a.m. and was being discharged at 5 p.m. So in and out, one day appendectomy.
Wow.
I mean, they asked me if I wanted to stay. And I said, is going home an option? Is that going to be bad? And they're like, no. And I said, let's get out of here. Not interested in staying in here. I got a king-size bed at home with nice sheets, and I don't want to be in the hospital. Because we're in the middle of the worst flu pandemic we've ever seen here. So literally every bed was full. So, but yeah, like I said, I thought I had a stomach ache, and then I'm getting an appendectomy. It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Was it I heard something like some computer program from Britain decided what they would do with you.
Well, there's two ways. We're experimenting with a European way of treating it. There's two ways I could have gone. It was totally my choice, but it was up to the computer. They could do a physical appendectomy, or they could give me some kind of antibiotics, which would basically kill the infection without doing surgery. Because usually if you can, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of paperwork because I'm part of this study, but usually there's if you can stop the infection, you don't need to have your appendix removed. That's what they do in Europe. I guess we're studying it here, but we're not ready to buy into that yet. We still prefer just to remove your appendix. So but the thing is, doing it that way doesn't keep you off work for weeks and stuff like that, but it could also flare up again in the future. So I said, yeah, I'll be part of the study. If I don't have, if I can avoid surgery, we can try the antibiotic method, but the computer decided to give me the surgery. So it's like, okay, let's do the surgery.
You're the control group.
Yeah, basically. I'm still part of the study, but I'm the actual physically removed your appendix study. So, yep, never had surgery as an adult. So that was a first for me. And it wasn't horrible. It's just scary. It's scary when you get up and like, oh, what am I going to do this weekend? I got to rake leaves. I got to do this. And the next thing you're being rolled into this room, this fucking giant thing. It's like, okay, it's time for your surgery. Okay. But, they got me in quick. And like I said, when you're in and out in 5 hours with surgery, with full anesthesia where you're knocked out and stuff, that's pretty good. It was good to be home.
think it's about what happened with me when I had my surgery on my finger. Just kind of in and out the same day.
Yeah, they don't like to keep you there.
It seems not like it anymore because I had my appendix out. I was there for 3 days.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, there was a kid.
What kind did you have? Did you have the big long scar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
see, I had
scar goes from probably about like an inch off my belly button all the way, or like most way around my side.
Yeah, I have four cuts, each less than an inch. 1 for the camera, 3 for the tools. So it's not quite because if I had that one, the big long one, which they said might have been a possibility, I'd been off work 4 to 6 weeks.
Jeez, I don't even remember. I remember like I had to change the dressing and stuff like that because it was still an open wound for a long time. But like other than that, like literally, like I don't remember. I mean, I remember bending over or doing anything like obviously turning or bending in any way was painful as hell for a little while. But I remember being that long, I couldn't do anything. They never meant. I don't really remember any restrictions. But I don't know.
Yeah, I have 4 super glue. They super glued me 4 places. And there's stitches on the inside, but not the outside. So they say when the super glue dissolves and washes away, which it will, then your stitches are healed and you're done. Unless you have like, burnt or bust through or what do they call that? I don't know, dehisting or something. But I haven't. I took it easy. I followed their instructions. I'm not going to get out there and start doing kettlebells or day after. So, yeah, I've been taking it easy and not picking anything heavy up because I want to get back to work because sitting around the house is not fucking fun for me.
Get all those models built.
Yeah, I can do that. I've been doing some of that, but yeah, it's sitting around the house. It kind of wears off after 3 days. The novelty. So.
Did you get all Breaking Bad watched?
Yeah, I did watch. I finished watching Breaking Bad. Okay. I've watched everything on Amazon Prime. It's worth watching. Now I'm into documentaries of World War II. Actually quit taking. I've been reading a lot, and I quit taking my pain medicine they gave me because I found if I took it like they prescribed it, I couldn't think enough to read. It's like, okay, I'm going to take this and go lay in bed and just read, and I'd be reading, and I'm like, what did I just read? I go back, wait a minute, I don't remember any of this. I go back like 3 pages. Like, it's like, oh, my brain's not working. I can't do this. So very little pain. It's a pretty, straightforward surgery.
Well, I think Andrew wants to perform surgery. I don't know. He's holding a knife on his lap. So.
All right, let's see what happens.
Just holding it there.
Oh, you just hold. Okay, do you want it out?
I'm not like holding it there.
Do you want to play with it?
Okay, Colin, what do you want to do later? It's like, no, it's just.
I got a machete for no good reason.
I
didn't get it. I received a machete for no good reason.
All I was gonna say was literally like the only experience I had because I know when they told you obviously like, hey, you need to go to the emergency room as soon as possible, not without delay. Like obviously they don't want your appendix to rupture because then it goes everywhere inside your body and becomes an infection and it's really hard to remove and get everything out of you and it just becomes a much more situation for you.
Yes.
But it's weird that you say stomach pain because, or like, I mean, I guess stomach ache is what you said, but at the same time, like, me, the way I knew I needed my appendix out was literally I was running in a track competition, and my side hurt so bad that I was like, God, I'm really winded, and then my side pain never subsided, and I went to the hospital immediately, and they told me my appendix was inflamed and needed to be removed.
Damn. It's a pretty extensive looking machete there.
Yeah.
Is it weighty?
A little bit.
Weight to it, yeah.
There's no weight in the handle. It's all in the blade. Let's see like where the balance point is.
Yeah, it's a chopper, so it's going to be front heavy.
Balance point is about the handle. So yeah.
Oh, okay, that's surprising.
The handle's rubber, but it's got like a bunch of weird, like kind of like all over the place.
Knobby.
Bumps. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Is that your birthday gift from Andrew?
No, Dad just came by and he's like,
Dad just here. You need this.
I think it's like one of those Lowe's, like nobody was buying this shit, so now I have it.
Well, that's cool. Never know when you need a machete.
Yeah, I'll never need. I remember I got like for that comedy sketch show I was going to. I never ended up doing. I bought this fucking knife with a handle guard on it. Like it's going to use that, but then like no, we never used that. So.
Like a trench knife.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of surprising the balance point's like right here. Because the tang must not go further than maybe here.
Get those ones from the Philippines that are made out of leaf springs. Two-handed machete.
That's what we're talking about. Like it says, like made in Seattle. It's like
no designed in Seattle,
designed in Seattle,
sold in Iowa, both of which have no jungles, but it is a jungle machete. So you figure that one out.
We're saying like you should say like design in the Philippines when people take it more seriously.
Maybe you should just say urban jungle machete. Then Seattle would make more sense. It's like this is for somebody cuts in line at Starbucks. Like,
it's very wet in Seattle.
Yeah, I'll put this in the nice holster it came in. I have to say this for it. At least it comes with a nice belt holster.
Strap it across your back.
Yeah, I guess
just hook it in one of the loops in your bandolier where you hold your extra grenades for your grenade launcher.
That does look cool.
Yeah, I kind of wonder how much it is because I kind of want one now, but at the same time, it's not very practical. I think I'll stick with my guns for home defense. Like, all the tiny little knives they throw out. Like,
tiny deadly knives.
Should be like that guy in the American version of Desperado. That who's that? What's that Mexican guy? Danny Trejo. Just be the knife assassin that throws knives at everyone.
Kind of reminds me of Chris Pratt's one of his next movies that comes out this year, next year. Cowboy Ninja Viking.
What?
It's based off a fucking anime.
Okay,
it's
sure.
like he's gonna be. It's like a bounty hunter that embodies all of the martial skills of all these three people: the cowboy, the ninja, and the Viking. It's like apparently he's been signed on to the project since like 2014 or so, but they finally got the money to make it. So I don't know.
Just stick anything on film.
Yeah. Hey, but you mentioned Amazon, and I finally saw the trailer for Sneaky Pete Season 2 that comes out in March.
Yeah.
That show should still be appealing.
I haven't gotten through I think I got through the first 2 episodes. That show's kind of hard to watch. Not that it's bad, it's just that like it's like, oh fuck. How is he gonna lie his way out of this? And it's like almost embarrassing to watch him lie his way out of it, even though he does a good job of it. But it's just kind of cringeworthy watching the show. It's like I wouldn't believe him.
I still want to see the Ozarks. I have been holding off on.
Oh
that.
yeah, just watch that. Yeah, if you just finished Breaking Bad, go right into Ozarks. You'll feel right at home.
I like Breaking Bad more than I thought I would. I thought there was a lot of hype.
Yeah. Go ahead, talk. Yeah, you need to talk about that.
Well, no, I've basically binge watched it for 6 months because it's there's only so much I can do at one time. But yeah, I definitely like that show more than I thought. That's one of the few shows that like, oh, this is worth the hype.
Yeah,
this will stand up.
Yeah, it's. I can't think of anything better, but like for like an entire run, ended well or ended how it's supposed to, all that stuff. It's like you have to pretty much say like that's probably the best television show of all time.
Yeah, everyone who's involved with this is now fucked because they'll never do anything else that good again. No, but it was I like the last, because that was always the big question is like what happens when this falls apart, how long can he maintain this facade, and people seem to, the thing I like about Breaking Bad is like, oh, this is how people react to shit normally. There's not crazy stuff. There is crazy stuff, but there's like a guy so desperate and so smart, it's like, well, how can I think and lie my way out of this? And the machine gun hooked up to the garage door opener as a reciprocating weapon. That was pretty cool. I didn't exactly see where he was going with that. But see, I didn't watch anything about Breaking Bad once I started. I didn't go to like the wiki page to find out what happened because I'm enjoying it that much. So.
Well, you had like a year to think about, because like I think it was the end of season 7 was the last season, right?
See, 5, I think.
5? Oh, I thought there was 7.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's 2 parts to the last season. But anyway,
Yeah, there's a long stretch. It was a Sopranos last season.
yeah. So like, I think the last episode you see him like open up where he's like, he's like all disheveled now, and he's like talking to a guy in the at the diner, and then he goes and opens up the trunk, and there's like an M60 machine gun in there. Like, what the fuck's going on there? And then you had to wait a year to see what the fuck that was about.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty effective show. And it did kind of end with like, yeah, sort of hope, but yeah, mostly everyone's life is ruined. They're dead. The thing with Hank was it was almost sad. Like, oh, wow, this guy came so almost had him, and he didn't really want that to happen, but when it did,
And that was I think that episode's called Ozymandias, or however you say that. word.
Ozymandias, yeah.
And that was directed by Ryan Johnson, who directed the new Star Wars movie.
Oh, okay. The most divisive Star Wars movie in history.
Isn't every Star Wars movie, at least the last couple of ones, the most divisive Star Wars movie in history?
I don't.
Because the first.
I don't get it. I don't get the controversy.
Well, it's because people. I think what people don't like is how directly that movie is like just shitting on Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It's like when he takes a lightsaber and just throws it away. Like that's like it's like, hey, that last movie was fucking stupid. And everyone loved it because they really liked the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah. But these Star Wars movies, it's like people act like they're remaking 2001 or something. Like this is supposed to be entertaining. But anyway, Breaking Bad. That was I like The Lawyer. I'm gonna have to watch more of those Better Call Saul episodes.
Yeah, I think they have 3 seasons on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
That one's really good too.
And the Hitman became more of an endearing character.
Yeah, he's like the second character on Better Call Saul.
Ermin Trout or whatever.
And then later you can see him on Community where he goes back to college.
But yeah, that's a really good show. And it was a show with a lot of like logical, like I could see why someone would make all these steps.
Yeah.
And it's also just it's an interesting commentary on like everything that's wrong with this fucking country. Like, why did this guy start making meth? Well, because his health insurance sucked and he was dying of cancer. He couldn't raise the money to do it. And it's like, well, why does meth pay off? Well, because everyone's on fucking drugs all the time.
And also think of like this was like AMC's second show.
Yeah.
Like, after Mad Men. And
Yep,
like they didn't think it was gonna make it to the second season. It's like people. I mean the reviews are good, but people aren't really watching it. And then it just kind of blew up after a while.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize the actual timeline in the show was as narrow as it was.
Oh, is it like?
Yeah, 'cause everything happens in like 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you don't realize that. But yeah, it's not like a season represents a passage of time, except for the last one, where he was gone in the cabin for a long time. But
I guess I didn't really think about the passage of time too much. It was just because obviously his older son doesn't seem to age very much, but he's still in high school, and then he has the baby, but nothing really. I mean, I don't know.
Like kind of with a lot of shows, you always are left to assume that the show like picks up like a week later, but there's obviously those episodes where it continues directly from the previous episode.
yeah,
So there's like kind of like weird where it's like 3 episodes will be like, oh, this is 2 days of shit happening, and then like the next 3 episodes might be 3 weeks.
But considering how many people he had to, or I mean, I haven't seen the last season, but considering how many people he had to kill or fuck over in the first 4 seasons, that seems like a lot of killing and revenge to get through in 2 years. Like,
oh, it is. I mean, what's the biggest problem with drugs? Is the people you have to deal with to make and sell drugs. That's like Gus Fring and all those Mexican characters and all. Those are all real people. Those aren't just caricatures. As a matter of fact, there's probably a lot of people like Gus Fring and the nasty CEO lady, and yeah, there's a lot of people like that and that are real. They might not be that extreme and over the top, but yeah, those are Those are real people.
I've been meaning to go back to, because I think Vince Gilligan got a start in X-Files. But meaning to like go back and like watch his episodes.
That could be.
So remember he did like an episode with like John Ritter or something like that. That was with like where he ended up body switching with Mulder or something like that.
Huh.
That was supposed to be a good episode that he wrote.
Have you watched any of the X-Files that are coming out now?
No, I watched the first one of the last the return.
Yeah.
I was like, and it was so laughable. And at first, I thought like, oh, is this a joke? Is this kind of like commentary? And then I get to the episode, I was like, oh, they're completely serious. This is terrible. So I just completely stopped watching that.
They're not bad. They're not they are not taking themselves 100% seriously. And
Well, no, the problem was like I thought they weren't, but it turned out they were, and that was why it was bad. It was like, oh, you're just honestly want me to take this bullshit and not laugh at it.
yeah, in later episodes they do.
Okay.
I mean, it's almost more quirky and offbeat than it was. They're definitely playing that angle.
When I watched it, it felt like an old, like it felt like an early season of the X-Files that wasn't self-aware.
Yeah.
It was hard to describe. I just did not like that first. I don't know, but like that was always kind of thing with X-Files where it was like it's like some of the episodes were basically
Yes, Cat, throw me out.
there's like Twilight Zone episodes, and then you get the occasional like every 4 episodes we're going to do the
Conspiracy theory.
yeah, the series long conspiracy episode that will carry forward. So like they started the new episode immediately with conspiracy theory, and like it gets way too self-serious. But then I imagine like they do, those later episodes where like one guy's brother like wrote for the show. I can't remember. He did all the funny episodes.
Yeah.
Like he did the one with like the devils and stuff like that. Oh no, well he did that one too, but like because like, he went up and wrote for Millennial too, and or Millennium, and he did that episode with the devils. That's like really awesome.
Oh, okay.
There was the one with the psychics in X-Files. Like he wrote all the funny episodes. Like he created. It was like Jose Chung was like the internal like fiction writer in X-Files, and he wrote that character.
Oh, okay.
You remember that one?
Vaguely. I'm trying to remember which ones that was.
I can't remember if it was who's the fucking, is it Carter? Is it the creator of X-Files?
Yeah.
It was somebody's brother. And then like the guys who wrote the bulk of X-Files, they went on to make Millennium too, and they wrote like 20 episodes, and that dude wrote 2 of them. Because they were just like such a prolific.
Glenn Morgan and James Wong.
That's the two that did that wrote like a lot of fucking episodes.
They're writing a lot of the new ones.
They wrote Reign of Fire too. They wrote that movie.
Oh, okay.
But I can't remember they didn't do the funny episodes. It's some other guy who did the funny episodes.
Darren Morgan?
Oh, is there 2 Morgans?
Yeah, there's Glenn Morgan, Darren Morgan, and James Wong.
Okay, maybe it was Darren.
Because Darren Morgan did the funny one where the New Zealand guy kept turning into a lizard and killing people. And Mulder found him, and he's like, "Are you the guy that's doing this?" And he goes, "Yeah, I turn into a lizard. It's kind of weird. It's like I lose control." And he's like, "Are you serious right now?" He's, "Yeah." And it turns out it was serious. There's some reason they don't catch him. But he said something like, "If you killed me, you'd be doing me a favor because I wouldn't have to live like this anymore." And or it was something weird like that. But yeah, there were only 6 episodes in that one.
Okay. Is the new season started up yet?
Yeah, there's like 2. We're already 2 into it.
Okay. Because I heard this like Gillian Anderson's quitting after this one.
Yeah. Well, they were never. I don't think they were meant to be long-term things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like every 90s show is just going to get a reboot now. So.
Yeah.
It's like Roseanne's coming back, and there's another one. There's another show that's coming back. That
Oh, Roseanne is.
huh?
Yeah, Roseanne comes back in March.
Roseanne is-
Will and Grace has already been back for God knows how many months.
Oh, is it already on? No,
Yeah.
there's another one that's like classic show coming back.
Tool Time
No,
or Home Improvement, whatever the fuck it was.
we know what you mean.
um,
Oh, I can't. Oh,
classic '90s show. That's Full House is already back on Netflix. It was Fuller House,
yeah.
and I can't think of another. Besides, like fucking. What was the one with Urkel?
Family Matters.
Yeah, Family Matters. Other than that, or the one with the guy that lived out in the van in the people's backyard that had the roller coaster intro with Susan Sarandon.
Is that Step by Step?
Yeah, Step by Step.
Yeah.
That's like the only ones I remember from the '90s.
Just
And then the guy.
TGIF block.
Yeah. Mr. Belvedere? Is Mr. Belvedere coming back? Like,
Hey, Cameron, it's another show where it's like, oh
I
yeah.
wish they'd
it's
bring
so
Alf
dumb.
back. That'd be a good fucking show to bring back.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch Alf because I remember like people saying like, no, dude, you got to like, I know it seems stupid and it's like a pop culture icon or whatever, but no, go back. That show's like really fucked up and like written. It's like very subversive and like you don't expect it from a weird talking puppet show. Because like the first episode, I think like they were supposed to kill Alf and he was supposed to be hunted by like the CIA the entire time, but then just became this weird like family comedy show.
It's a turn. It was supposed to be Alien, but changed.
I think I can't remember his name. He's one of Mark Maron's friends. He wrote that book that became a movie called Permanent Midnight, which is about him. I think when he was working on that show.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
there's like an Alf analog in that movie that like when he's high on cocaine, where like it chases him around and haunts him. I need to see that movie. I heard it's great, but
Permanent Midnight. Yeah, I've always wanted to watch Millennium, but I need to find it wherever it is.
yeah, I don't know where that's streaming at. That's got to be streaming somewhere.
Yeah, I've heard. I never watched it. 'Cause I think that came out when I was graduating high
It's-
school, so I was working.
I mean, I probably rewatched it like 10 years ago, but it's like pretty fucking good. Like the first season's pretty much just like Seven the movie.
Yeah.
Second season takes like a lot of weird chances. That's the one with like the devils and stuff like that. There's this really funny episode where like there's like these three devils at a coffee shop, and it's just everybody else who sees them is just dudes. But then like when what's his name? Who's the lead actor?
Lance Henriksen.
Lance Henriksen walks in. He's like, they all look like devils to him. And he's like, oh, that's weird. And he just kind of walks out of the coffee shop. And it's basically all these people like convincing people to do terrible things, but it's like funny in some way. It's a great episode. And it's just out of left field.
Yeah, I've heard it's like, I've heard that episode talked about, like, to say it's like the Screw Tape Letters almost. It's like these devils are sitting around, like, it seems like small things they're convincing people to do, but it's a chain of events that.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then I think the second season they thought they were gonna get canceled, so they just went balls to the wall crazy, and it ends with basically apocalypse happening in weird ways. Where it's basically he takes his family to like a cabin in the woods. I think his wife dies or something like that. Takes his daughter to, or I don't even know if somebody takes his family to a cabin in the woods, and it's like he basically has like a drug trip. It's like playing some pop song, and then you just hear screaming, and it like fades to white, and that's the end of the episode. And then it comes back the next season. They fired everybody on the show, and they got the guy who did ER to run like the third season. And it's just like a pretty straightforward, kind of weird, hard-edged procedural drama, and then they canceled it right after that.
Oh, okay.
Because, ER is exactly like the X-Files. What do we got this week? A heart attack. Oh, and alien abduction. I'm like, I got both of them.
When you look at was it James Morgan and what's the other guy? Is it Chung?
Glenn Wong, James Wong.
James Wong.
Glenn Wong, Morgan, and James Wong.
I think I said James Morgan.
You did.
Glenn Morgan and James Wong, like they wrote probably 90% of all the episodes in those first 2 seasons. Those are 22 episode seasons.
Yeah, I remember because I watched them because you gave me the DVD.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And they were like running the show and directing it. Like it was like they did a lot of, and like all those episodes were like pretty fucking well done. And that's like they did a lot of work in a short amount of time. It's probably still holds up. I don't know.
I can't
I'll have
really
to
remember
watch
the third
that.
season. I remember the end of the second season, like you're talking about, but I don't really remember the third season.
Yeah, I tried to start watching the third season. I couldn't get through it because it was just kind of boring. It kind of lost all of its luster. But like I said, that's also going in knowing that like it's kind of like watching The West Wing after they get rid of Sorkin. It's just kind of not the same anymore. It's just going through the motions. Like, yeah, these actors are still good, but the writing sucks.
Oh god, what was it? I'm trying to think is now that you've been talking about like bringing back another show and like trying to think of other fucking shows in the 90s that I didn't know about as a kid or whatever. Wasn't there like one in Alaska with like a moose or whatever?
Oh yeah. Fuck.
What
Huh?
was that one called?
I don't want to say it says something nowhere in the title.
Northern Exposure.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that lasted like 7 seasons, but that was a super quirky show that like was always on the threat of being canceled.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about that show. All I know is basically the advertisement for it. Because I don't think I ever got to watch it. How about Early Edition? I love that show in the 90s. Or how about the one with the Canadian Mountie that's forced to work with like the Chicago Police Department or New York Police
vaguely
Department has a
remember that.
Siberian Husky.
What's that one called?
Fuck. God damn it! It's
I
like
vaguely-
Northern Exposure or something like that.
No, that's the one you were just talking about. That's the weird show in Alaska. It's called Northern
Oh
Exposure.
god damn it. Fuck. I can't think of it, but it had literally a guy in a full Canadian Mounties uniform
Yeah.
policing in the United States.
Yeah.
And he has Siberian Husky as a sidekick that like fucking like a pure white Siberian Husky. I can't think of the damn.
It sounds like a Fox show.
No, it was on CBS.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Was that before they took over everything? It's like, we don't know what we're doing.
I think it only lasted like 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah, it didn't last that long.
Because his like sidekick was like this like really like Italian gangster looking guy. So it was like it must have been New York. But it's like I still don't know why. Oh god, what was it called?
We'll find out. Or Nathan can look
Yeah,
it up.
I was like, Nathan, help me.
I mean, you got a phone. You can look it up.
Well, I don't know how like Google like 90s television shows.
Dude, they'll do that like Mountie TV show in Chicago.
How do you spell Mountie is my question.
Like Monty, but with a U. I'm sure it'll correct you to what you want to say. The one I want to go back to. I'm curious
Due
of.
South.
Yeah,
Due South. Okay.
That's
Had
created
something
by
to do-
Paul Haggis.
Had something to do with with a direction north south. Well, how
Uh,
many seasons did it last?
Oh, that was 4. That was a Canadian CBS crossover. So the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation funded 10% of it, and CBS funded the other 90%.
That seems
All the
right.
writing and stuff was coming from Canada, so they.
I kind of want to watch that show again because, like, an early edition, I was really always mad when I was younger that they canceled that show, but I don't ever remember anything about Due South.
So yeah, the ones I'm curious to like go back and just investigate because I know they're terrible is like Silk Stockings, because that was like a USA show late night. It was like police procedural, but it was like supposed to be sexy. I was like, I remember it's like
Wasn't that like the Femme Nikita at the same time?
maybe. But I remember like that show was never good, but it's like it was still like a show. It was still like a show on cable for like the longest time. It's like, did people watch this? Like, what's going on? So
8 years, 8 seasons.
Jesus fucking Christ! I don't know a fucking person on that show.
Stephen J. Canal's longest running crime drama.
Who's Stephen J. Canal?
Oh, he's the guy who makes everything.
Sounds like a fake
And
pseudonym
he's
for-
been dead for like 10 years, but his production company.
Oh, is that Canal Studios? Is that him?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, he's like every French film he produces. It's Canal Studios.
I mean, please don't tell me they're thinking about rebooting like NYPD Blue or ER or something.
No, they just have other shows that are doing the exact same thing.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think of more '90s-ish shows.
I want to go back to. It got a name change, but it was just originally it was just called Invisible Man, but then it got changed to I Man. It was like one of those sci-fi shows, kind of around the tail end of Farscape, and it was Breck Eisner, the son of Michael Eisner, like worked on that show. And it was like I remember it being like a cool show, like it was quirky. The whole Invisible Man stuff was like stupid, but they managed to like make it practical in a way. But like that show completely disappeared. Like they never reran it on Sci-Fi itself. It never got rerun anywhere else, and I've never seen it on a streaming service. It just completely fucking disappeared.
2 episodes. Episode 2, it was changed to I Man. Yeah, it was from 2000 to 2001.
Oh, it only got 1 season? I thought it had like 3.
I got 2 seasons.
Okay.
2000 and 2001 season. Quicksilver Madness. Oh yeah, the stuff that makes you invisible.
I'm trying to figure out why Due South has like an 8.9 Metacritic rating.
Nostalgia.
Oh, I can watch whole episodes on YouTube apparently, or at least pirated episodes on YouTube.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I do remember that.
I'm really surprised this show lasted 4 seasons, to be honest. I thought it was like...
Well, hey, a police procedural, they'll give it 4 seasons.
Yeah,
watch
how long is the Canadian Mountie really stuck in New York? I mean, at this point, he's just illegal.
Well, he wasn't really stuck in New York. He was stuck in Toronto's version of New York.
Toronto, York.
Oh, I love the description for the show. A modern-day Dudley Do-Right, Constable Benton Fraser, is a Canadian Mountie who goes... Oh, I'm sorry, to Chicago.
His name's Benton Fraser? Wasn't
Benton Fraser, yes.
Wasn't fucking
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan
yes, he
Fraser.
was a Canadian Mountie in a movie.
Yeah, he was fucking Dudley. Was he? It was
Yeah,
a
he was
Dudley
Dudley
Do-Right
Do-Right.
movie.
Who goes to Chicago. So this is even more far-fetched because Chicago is nowhere near the Canadian border. With his pet wolf to find his father's murderer. Extremely polite and moral, Fraser eventually teams up with streetwise detective Ray how the hell you pronounce that? Choosing to stay in Chicago after uncovering corruption, and the RCMPD makes him persona non grata at home. So somehow, because you're a cop in another country, you could show up to American City and then be basically stricken from the police force in your home country and still be an honorary police officer apparently in Chicago. Good job, police procedural. I'd like to test that theory out in real life.
The thing I know about the RCMP is they used to have the fastest police cars in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had to cover such a huge area.
Oh.
They would, whatever we did to the Crown Vics, and they would always buy them. That's what they bought, but they would want, like they'd take them to, it used to be something called Ford SVT, which was Special Vehicles Technologies, and they would super stiffen the suspension and just put giant powerful engines in the cars. They used to have the fastest ones, like they could go, and they had like extra duty gas tanks and all that, so they could go long distances, like sustained 120 mile an hour for, I think the United Arab Emirates beat everyone though, because they just started like, let's make our police cars into Bugattis, and so they technically have the fastest police cars now, but I don't know how they're using them.
Well, they got that fucking
Like hover bike now.
Well, no, they have on the God damn it, Grand Tour show. They had that Isuzu Trooper with some crazy engine in it, and it beat the Bugatti Veyron.
Oh yeah, the Zuzu Trooper in one of those Dubai or something.
Yeah, it had like 4,000 horsepower.
Yeah, it was just a giant engine with a man on the front of it. It was something out of the Road Warrior. Like there's just a guy in there throwing levers. Yeah, you can't outrun something that has a power to weight ratio like that.
Then gotta ask yourself, how much is a speeding ticket really worth? Like, how much money? I mean, because I know.
Oh,
like,
they just pull you over to give you a thumbs up.
was
Hey,
saying-
nice try.
I thought, like, is it just in movies they depict this, or is it in like California and places where more supercars or exotic cars that can go faster, more population? Don't they actually have more supercharged police cars that try and catch them or run them?
No, they have helicopters.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
There's I don't know. Yeah, there's some departments that'll have like, here's our Corvette and shit like that, but it's pretty much for show. Like, they don't even like chase people like that anymore because they end up causing more harm when they do. But yeah, like you said, like Nate said, you just get your helicopter out. It's like, we got the guy tagged.
No, I kind of figured. I mean, I figured it was pretty much like almost like a video game trope or something at this point. It wasn't really, because remember like the Need for Speed games, like the Hot Pursuit, where it's
Yeah.
like the Lamborghini police
Yeah.
cars and shit. And it's like, I bet those don't exist in real life.
There. I've seen some like Las Vegas police departments that have some crazy thing, which I think they just got the car donated to them and they made it look like a police
Or
car.
they seize it off a drug bust.
Probably, yeah, probably. That's probably where they get it. And then there's also some in Colorado have a crazy, like, expensive ones. But I think their practicality is very limited because it's not like you're gonna haul away a perp and it's like, hey, we caught up to you. Like, no, now let's wait for the paddy wagon to pull up.
Yeah, no, I know, like in Detroit and in places where they have the full-on like suburban SUV police cars. Now those are very fast, and they will, because there's there's not a lot of long straightaways here that aren't congested, but they will absolutely, if they get close to you, they will bash you into the curb. Like they will just bam, bam, bam. They will keep hitting you, and the chances are that car weighs a lot more than yours, and it's just going to tear your car apart. But yeah, high-speed pursuit with other cars, police cars, doesn't do much good unless, like, if you could shoot something at the car that would disable its ignition system, like, then would be a real good reason to catch up with them. But
they have those, but
yeah, they don't consistent. Every new generation of cars, they quit working. Or they don't work right, or they'll do something crazy like lock up the right brake, or you have to be careful, because if you kill the asshole, then you're on the dime for it. So.
It'd be funny if it just like changed the radio station to Christian rock. First stop.
I give up. I found Jesus.
I surrender. Can't listen to this shit anymore. But yeah, there's really, like I said, they got helicopters, and now they have drones. Helicopters are hugely expensive. Drones, they can just keep flying at you.
Yeah.
It's really no good to run from cops like that unless you have access to parking structures and spare cars in there, and you've spray painted all the cameras over and stuff, because really the key is you have to switch vehicles a lot and keep moving. At least that's what I've heard from bank robbers. So
That's what I've seen in movies.
yeah, that's what I've seen on movies and shit. Like, I wouldn't know. Action Nate.
I watched this documentary, Baby Driver, and
Yeah.
they switched cars a couple times, so they got a good source.
Like, Heat's a pretty good idea.
Or that just the opening scene in Drive. Just pulls in the parking lot at the right time, and it's like, oh, it was like the Blazers game, the Trailblazer game got out, and he just walks out of the parking lot.
Yeah, you can drive into a mall.
No,
Dis-
sorry.
or of course the Jackal, where he just just waters it down, and now it's a different color.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's surprising how much. I mean, I actually like the Jackal movie, but it doesn't really hold up very well.
No.
after a while.
Which one's that?
Better idea. The one with Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah, Bruce Willis and Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where he's trying to assassinate the president's wife?
I can't remember who his target is, but he has like that machine gun in the trunk of the minivan, and he blows Jack Black's arm off. So that's because like Jack Black didn't calibrate it close. He's like shoots something. He's like, close enough, and he's like, well, hold that thing out. It's like, oh, your arm's missing. Was that close enough?
Is that the one where Bruce Willis kisses the other guy in his house before he kills him?
Yeah, because he wants he's like pretending to be a gay guy so he can get something from him.
Yeah, he wants ID or something. Now, Bruce Willis has a new movie coming out, a remake of an old Bronson movie.
Yeah, trying to still figure out how the hell I feel about that one because it looks kind of shitty.
Yeah, well, it got delayed. I wonder what they did because after the Las Vegas shooting, it's like, oh, I guess we can't have mass murder shooting because people aren't gonna tolerate that anymore. And then now it's been long enough, nobody cares.
Yeah, we've forgotten.
I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's almost a combination between like fucking. I mean, I've seen the original Death Wish. It's okay. It's an iconic movie, but it's definitely not something that holds up. But the vigilante justice part might.
Well, yeah, just everybody loves a vengeance movie. So I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, was he a doctor in the original movie? Because I didn't know his character was a doctor.
I don't think he was a doctor. I think he was like a corporate something.
Oh, okay,
Like a
because
suit.
here's a doctor, which I thought that was like sort of interesting. It's like, hey, here's this guy whose whole mantra is "do no harm." He's obviously going to do lots of
And
harm.
now he knows how to harm people really well. But no, it's like a weird, I don't know. It's like a weird torture porn / gun revenge movie. I don't know what to think about that.
Oh, that feeds into everyone's.
Yeah, people
fear.
just love that shit. So.
'Cause
If
that's
someone killed my family, this is what I'd do to them. It's like, no,
That's
you
exactly what would happen.
if someone used my coffee mug at work, this is what I
wouldn't.
like that seems like the point we're getting to here. Like, I mean, yes, it's nothing wrong with a perfectly good action movie, but like between that and like there's the Mayhem movie I recently watched, which was really good. But then like the whole time I'm like, is this everybody's wet dream just to fucking go to their office and just like everybody that is a constant dick to them or somebody they hate just like beat the fucking shit out of or kill them and get away with it scot free? Like, is that just like a great wet dream movie for people?
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it's still. I mean, that's always a great thing about Fight Club. That scene where it's like you think it's like, oh, he's gonna flip out, and just, then he beats the shit out of himself, and he's like, please stop hitting me. I like when he's walking out, and he has all the shit in the cart, and he's like whistling at people.
I don't think the manager ever thought for a second is like, wait, I don't have any wounds on me that prove I was hitting him. So apparently that means, yeah, I don't know. But no, it'll be, I don't know. Some of the movies coming up, like, did you guys see the stupid trailer for the new Heathers remake?
No, it's
No.
a TV show, right?
No, it's a movie.
Oh, they're moving a Heather's TV show. Oh, okay.
No, I like how they literally put like an openly gay character in there just to play like do the "I love my dead gay son" thing. It's like,
All right.
but it's like at the same time as like I watched the whole trailer, my wife watched it with me, and at the same time we're like, that's gonna fucking suck. Like,
Yeah.
it looks really, really bad.
Of course.
But it's,
Well, you showed me the trailer for Overboard. That looked terrible.
no, I know. Like I'm saying, it's like,
But it's also, this is the time for terrible movies, so, I mean, what do you expect?
why
That's
don't
overboard.
Fuck you, it's January.
Overboard's Jim or God damn it, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, 80s movie.
Oh,
Very,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
very,
they remade it with...
they're revisiting that. It wasn't a very good movie to begin with, and we're gonna go back.
Well, yeah, it was a movie that was, like, better performances than writing.
Yeah, I do remember the one funny line where a guy was pretending to be injured, so a guy could fight for his family or whatever. Or maybe I'm thinking of another movie. I don't know.
I was like, I'm trying to think of that moment in that movie. I'm like, I don't remember that, but at the same time, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the original Overboard, but
Another Kurt Russell movie.
oh,
You think of Captain Ron?
That was it. That's what I was thinking of.
God.
Captain Ron's a great movie that's kind of bad.
Yeah, I remember seeing that once because we all rented it, and then like literally everybody was looking forward to it, and then at the end of it, we're like, nope, that was horrible.
I mean, I probably did a lot. I remember it was one of those movies like that, and it didn't quite get the level of Joe versus Volcano, but that was like one of those movies I liked, but I know other people did not like it, and I know why they don't like it, and I know why I like it, because that's just a fucking weird movie that's totally imperfect, but I liked its weirdness.
Isn't it
Like, that's the part where just he has the eye patch over the wrong eye, and he's like, oh. And it's like, oh, you just...
Isn't Martin Short in that movie as well?
Probably, yeah, I think he's like the father.
Yeah,
like,
it's like I think he's like the patriarch of the family that's with him. And stuff
Yeah.
like that, but I can't remember the rest of the cast. So must not
I remember that was like kind of it was like that, and there's like What About Bob? It was kind of a weird kind of like movies like that were happening, where it's
Yeah, and
like
what
here's
about-
this guy who gets, here's this like weird guy that ends up like entrusted with the family, and then the father's just is like just everybody hates him.
I think What About Bob's a really great movie. I mean, I don't know why I don't think. I mean, I guess maybe I should go watch Captain Ron again, but at the same time,
I haven't seen that forever. I just remember there's stuff about that movie where it's like I like it because nobody else did it, but also it's also a very straightforward, stupid movie.
just like
But like there's things about it though.
what about Periscope Down?
That's a way better movie than it has any right to be.
Considering there's like a movie long dick joke about what he has tattooed on his Johnson
Yeah.
or whatever the whole movie, and Rob Schneider's in it for some reason, and I don't know. I mean, I know Kelsey Grammer has some draw for people. It's like, but why he's the lead in it necessarily?
Well, I think that was one of his few movies he did, and it's like here's the leading role. I mean, you got to put somebody in the leading role. So
True. But I guess I don't really think of him as a comedic actor, so it's
I mean, all he did was TV comedies.
yeah. But Frasier's not a comedy.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Supposed to be.
I was gonna say. I'm
What
with
do you
Nathan
think
I'm with
Frasier
Nathan on
is?
This one.
What do you think Frasier is?
White people bitching about shit.
It's a half-hour comedy show with an audience that laughs.
They had the fun dog on there, Eddie Spaghetti.
I was like, yeah, that's the only thing I think anybody ever has anything positive to say about that show is that dog.
No,
Otherwise,
there's a
like,
whole podcast that about that show.
I just don't get that show.
I mean, I remember. I know what you're talking about that, but that show is actually like it won Emmys for a reason. Like it won Emmys like every year it was on, but like.
because rich white people love rich white people on television.
Well, no, it's not. That's one of the funny things about the show. Like I think at a glance you don't realize this, but like their dad is like he's like is he a World War II vet or what the fuck, or is he like
Korean. I can't.
Korean War vet? He's like a Marine.
At that time, he'd be World War II. It was
He's
like 20-some years ago.
He's like a Marine vet who just talks. He's like a grizzled guy, and he's like, you know, he's like disabled and all that stuff. He's like, I'm gonna live with my sons, and both of his sons are like almost British. Like they just like they completely separated themselves from their father, created this whole new identity of like hoity-toity identity, and that's absolutely not where they come from.
I just hate the song too, but like,
Toss salad and scrambled
yeah,
eggs.
that doesn't make it. That no.
That was on for 11 years.
Yeah. It's sad what people watch. Like,
It's a good show. I always like Daphne.
well, there's stuff like what was it? The one show Phil Hartman was on that was really popular.
News radio.
Yeah, News Radio.
It was never popular.
Oh, it was never popular. Okay.
No, it was always on the verge of being canceled.
Oh, I thought that was one of NBC's better shows or something.
Oh, it was a good show. It just didn't mean people watched it because that's where you got like that's first Joe Rogan and Andy Dick and the one guy from Kids in the Hall. Yeah, it had a great cast. The guy who, the stapler guy.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
I
don't.
want to say his name's Glenn something. I can't remember.
No, it's Mike Judge, isn't it?
No, that's who made Office Space and Beavis and Butthead, but that's not him.
That's weird. I don't know how deep our Frasier conversation was going to go. So I was looking up the cast and crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny that like you said, Frasier and his brother acted like they were these people from like the East Coast that were almost British, but actually their dad was the British guy. He's from
Well, I mean, 'cause-
Liverpool, England.
Oh, is it?
I never watched the show. Was it something where it's like their father was really mean to them and they just didn't want to be, or they just like literally latched on to high society and didn't want to be dragged down by him?
Well, he was a Seattle cop that got shot and had to retire early was the premise.
Okay.
No.
And then they were they were just wanted to be upper class people that did fancy things, and their dad was just some blue collar guy. They got shot in the line of duty. I remember. I mean, I know it was I thought that was probably the most successful spin-off character of a show. 'Cause he was originally on Cheers, Frasier.
I always forget that spin-off show until somebody
Yeah.
mentions it. 'Cause,
I think it ran longer than Cheers.
Yeah. It's also probably more successful than Cheers, weirdly.
didn't Cheers?
Yeah, it might have been.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I mean, I guess it won more Emmys. Cheers was huge at the time until, was it Jack and Diane? Is that... I always try to remember that song. Was that the little ditty about Jack and Diane? It's like, are they talking about Cheers or is this some other Jack and Diane?
Oh, yeah.
Because like when they got together, the ratings tanked. Also, like Cheers was like the last place show when it first came out, but they decided to like let it linger, and then it became like the #1 show for like 4 years.
Yeah, it was part of that was the Warren Littlefield era of NBC blockbuster comedy when they would promote the hell out of shows. You don't have that anymore.
No, it's kind of CBS does the old comedy stuff, and then there's not a whole lot of like major network comedies anymore.
Yeah, most of the ones that are still around now are pretty much in their, I don't know what's like Modern Family, like literally is in its.
Yeah, I guess
eighth or
Modern
ninth
Family is
season.
probably the.
And then Big Bang Theory's up there too, and it's about ready to go out the door.
Yeah, this is like their last season or something like that.
Otherwise, like I know, doesn't Charlie Sheen still have some stupid show on some network?
No,
No, he doesn't have a show anymore.
I don't think so. Because he split off and he had that one show.
Anger Management.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like some super weird fucking deal. Because that was some deal that they signed where like 3 shows came with it. Because there's another show where it was like, because there's some limit where it's like if you hit 100 episodes, it's automatically considered for syndication, and all the money's in syndication. So there's like 3 shows that got created where like, okay, we're just gonna shoot like 30 episodes a year until we hit that 100 episode mark.
And can it and then...
Yes, exactly. So I think Anger Management was the only one that like went the full tilt, but there was another show with like with God damn it, what's it? The guy from Frasier. Kelsey Grammer and who's the guy in Martin and Blue Streak?
Oh, Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. So they had like this weird like buddy show that was supposed to have the same deal, but then they like, canceled it like a weekend of the production because like it got so terrible ratings. Or not like a weekend, but like it was like after the first month they just canceled the show. I was like, yeah, we're not gonna.
I've never heard of that. Like,
yeah, it happened.
I was like Martin Lawrence and Kelsey Grammer being friends. Like that does seem like a weird premise. I'm intrigued more than I'm intrigued by a show with Charlie Sheen. Cause shit, Martin Lawrence was like what in the '90s, early 2000s. He was like the it guy to get.
Yeah.
And now it's like he, besides the new Bad Boys movie, he's like not in anything I've ever seen.
Yep.
Nope.
So I mean, it's like
hey, Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle was talking about that too.
Oh yeah, what were they saying?
Well, because Dave Chappelle is using Martin Lawrence as an example of like, hey, this guy went crazy. Like, what happened? And it's like Hollywood must be doing something. And then I heard Cat Williams was talking about like, hey, what happened to Dave Chappelle? And like, I don't know if any of this is true, but Cat Williams is talking about what really happened with Dave Chappelle is that the Chappelle show was so successful that Comedy Central owed him like $120 million.
Yeah.
And they said that he was making too much money that it voided his contract. And so he needed to accept a new deal with a quarter of the $120 million.
Yeah.
And he says, like, what if I go to my fans and they're like, we'll destroy your career? And so basically, that's what all, like, you know, all this stuff came. It was like, hey, Chappelle went crazy, and he's like he's like
Africa.
He's becoming a Muslim and doing drugs and all that stuff like that. Like all that stuff was just like some media spin thing to try to destroy Chappelle's career, and he like wasn't in anything forever until like Netflix came around. Like, yeah, we'll give you some specials.
Yeah, that sounds more believable.
Well, no, it's just like looking at Martin Lawrence's career in the '90s and early 2000s, like reminds me of Kevin Hart's career now, where it's like he's the it guy for like everything. Like he has his own movies, but he also is like the black side character and everything, just like Martin Lawrence was.
And
So
see,
it's-
Kevin Hart's really smart though, because he owns everything that he does.
Oh, really?
Or if he does show up for something, it's a huge payday. And it's like, hey, I'm here whether I make you laugh or make you cry. I get paid. You know, that's. I don't think anyone's directing him.
Well, it's just
There's
they both play the same characters though.
Oh yeah,
there's like there's also something that happened with who's the guy from Rush Hour?
Chris Tucker.
yeah.
So yeah, Chris Tucker, like he had this like upward trajectory,
Yeah.
and then after a while, all he did for like 10 years was like 2 Rush Hour movies, and that's all he did. Because all the movies, and it was like something, because all he was getting roles for was like, we want you to be a drug dealer, we want you to be a funny drug dealer, and he said like, I did not want to do any of that shit. So basically, he just didn't get any offers.
Yeah.
It's like his he didn't get any he didn't do a movie again. I mean, he did the Rush Hour movies because him and Jackie Chan were friends, so they kept doing those. And then it wasn't
Fifth
till
Element.
yeah, but that was so like he did Rush Hour movies till like 2005 or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't show up again till Silver Linings Playbook. We actually got like sort of an interesting character to play.
Yeah, and I do blame a lot of the stuff where actors fade out and stuff, not so much on them, but on what typecasting and what Hollywood does, where it's like, oh my god, they loved him as that fucking, Merc with the mouth or whatever in that movie, so he's got to play that same part in every fucking movie.
Yeah.
10 times after that, because that's what America shows up and pays for.
I did watch the first episode of Black Lightning though. Have you heard that show?
Black Lightning.
It's a superhero show on CW with basically an almost entirely black cast.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like you watch the trailer for it. It looks terrible.
Well, any CW trailer looks terrible.
Yeah,
so.
but it's actually because like almost the entire cast you've never seen them before in anything, and like they're pretty good except for James Remar. He's in it. So it's like I like this person. I've never seen them in anything else before because obviously whatever movies they're in, I don't watch.
Yeah.
Well, or they're in it for 5 seconds and die. Or
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
Or they play just a friend and stuff. So it's like an entire cast of people you've never seen before. So it's like I like these people. So I'll have to see if that. It's got really good ratings, at least audience ratings everywhere. So
Is
I
it
was
on
like,
Hulu by chance, or is it just?
oh, do they play CW stuff?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, yeah, so it should be on there.
Black Lightning. I'll check that out. From the trailer I saw, it looked like almost a parody of a blaxploitation comic hero.
Yeah.
But it's not really like that.
No, it's pretty
Does it take
serious.
itself more serious? Okay.
Yes, it's way more serious. It's also still just a goofy superhero kind of thing, but
That one I'm more interested in because everything DC on CW otherwise has been too lighthearted when it's supposed to be darker than that, or it seems too lighthearted. But I guess that's
really. I always thought Arrow was always their dark show. The Flash was always the optimistic show.
Arrow, like the first season and a half that I've seen, yes, is the dark show, and Flash, yes, is very much lighter and stuff like that. But at the same time, I guess I just expect comic books to be more like if every episode is going to be you dealing with. Because obviously it's more of a, you tackle a new small problem, but an overarching problem happens the whole season, just like every other fucking show like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there's always too much. If I had a problem in real life where it's like every fucking problem crops up, but at the same time I have this huge problem looming over me, I'm piecing together piece by piece. I'm not going to be happy fucking half the goddamn time and have good shit happen to me. It's just going to be like me being depressed and feeling shitty about it and trying to solve that problem.
Well, that's what you have Walking Dead for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to me, it just doesn't. It's not the way especially somebody that's a superhero that tackles problems. It's like they're being lazy or just like, I'll just tackle that thing the next, like tomorrow or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, anything that gets more than 3 seasons, it starts to get weird because either you take the wrong turn or the right turn. All you have to do is watch. All you have to do is watch wrestling and see how all this shit crumbles apart. Like you just watch 4 episodes of wrestling, it's like, oh, they don't know how to write their way out of this, do they? Oh, it looks like they're gonna have to reset. Oh, how do they reset? That was fucking stupid.
Oh, Colin, have you watched any of the new episodes of The Good Place yet?
Oh no, I forgot that's still on.
Yeah, it is. Which is good, but at the same time, it's almost like the end of season 1 right now, where I wonder how the hell they're gonna write themselves out of this one, or how they're gonna write the show back into being the good show it was.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's still like funny, but yeah, like they have not done a great job of recovering from the end of season 1.
No, not a great job, but at the same time, they've done a better job than I thought they would have done. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a mixed bag. Nathan, have you watched The Good Place at all?
No.
It's NBC. He wouldn't watch that.
No.
No, I don't know. Nathan doesn't have loyalties. I just assume he would.
I'm like a Bedouin of entertainment. I'll move from one place to another. Never stay in one place too long. Or nomad, actually.
Well, now that CBS and Viacom are thinking about merging, because that was in the paper the other
Are
day.
they not merged?
No, they're not.
Who's
merged.
Viacom? What do they own?
God, I know they're a huge cable company and distributor.
Oh.
I don't know if they actually own. I mean, besides.
Oh wait, who owns NBC right now? Is that Comcast?
Yeah. Comcast.
Okay.
And they lost 250,000 subscribers last month. Oops. So my cable bill is going to go up.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta make up your millions of dollars of profit somewhere.
Well, net neutrality. They start charging you for watching Netflix. If we're getting our money back, fuck you guys.
Well, I can watch Netflix if I actually had it. But it wasn't using somebody yours. I could watch Netflix through Comcast here. They have a Netflix app for that. It's right on my TV, but I didn't dare. I don't want to put anything in. I don't want to endanger anything. So I just keep watching it the other way. I mean, I haven't even seen the new Star Trek yet. I'm still on the sidelines for that.
Yeah, just wait till I think they've added the subscription to Amazon, but maybe you can buy episodes there.
Yeah, I know it's on Amazon. I don't know because Amazon's about ready to announce some package deal where you can. Because see, there's like that thing on Stars. Like I can watch that through Amazon.
Yeah.
Because I have Stars at home.
Yeah.
I just have to find my thing, but I don't see the point in doing that because I can watch it on demand on my TV.
But I am sometimes like if it's something's behind a paywall, I'll just like pay for it on Amazon. It's like if I buy a season, it's like $24 and I get the season, and like I don't have to subscribe to this thing.
Yeah.
So I think you can buy the episodes straight from Amazon. I'm not sure, but maybe you can.
I'll have to look into it eventually. I don't know. I guess the big fan theory about Lorca was true, so. But I don't know.
But he's from the Mirror Universe.
Actually, from the Mirror Universe.
Yeah, I've heard stuff about that.
The light thing is actually it's the one difference between us and people from the Mirror Universe.
Oh, it's literally darker in the Mirror
Darker.
Universe.
That's why Lorca's eyes are fucked up. Sometimes I think we're in the dark universe. We're in the Spock goatee universe. Haven't hit that fucking bump yet where we go completely insane. Not yet.
Have we reached that point in the TV mid-season that they have announced any cancellations or renewals for at least on cable network stuff? I know Netflix has released some renewals or cancellations.
Well, I know a bunch of cancellations on Amazon.
Oh, really?
They can't. So they came out with that Jean-Claude Van Johnson show and immediately canceled it. Also, the I Love Dick show, they immediately canceled that. They canceled something else on there too.
Hopefully
They renewed the Tick, which is good because I like that. I've liked like every iteration of the Tick. So
they cancel that stupid Mozart in the Jungle bullshit.
I don't think so.
They keep forcing trailers down my throat like almost every time I get on.
It's like won the best comedy for like 2 years in a row, and it's like, what is this? I watched trailers for it, and it's like, I'm not watching this. I think I attempted to watch the first episode and just noped out of it.
It didn't seem like a comedy to me, but
Yeah, me neither, but apparently it is.
like,
Highbrow comedy.
oh, running an orchestra is so hard, Margaret. Oh.
Kind of.
Like, I know they had the Tick, and like my wife said she watched the Jean-Claude Van Johnson show or whatever, and then she was like, I hated it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't see what was it?
I really liked Comrade Detective. I wonder if they'll do more of those. So I kind of expect that was like pretty cheap to produce.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is like I'm sure it's cheap enough they'll probably keep it going. It's
The people in Eastern Europe will want more. They want an extra tray of baklava on the set for episodes, and that'll be it. That's a wrap.
well, the same thing with. It seems like Amazon keeps like either. I don't know how much the Mystery Science Theater 3000 guys keep doing their own riff track stuff and then uploading it to Amazon, or Amazon keeps buying more and more of it because they keep releasing more and more of that stuff.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
fuck ton of riff tracks on Amazon now.
Yeah,
I've been
'cause-
watching a lot of that too.
Yeah, because I watched The House on Haunted Hill like the other week because that was finally on there,
Is it the new one or the old one?
the old one,
Okay.
and so that was really funny because there's like this part where the woman's downstairs in the cellar and scares the woman as she goes in there. I'm going to try out my roller skates. And she floats away or whatever. It's so it's like that. And like I still haven't watched. Like I keep meaning to watch, or the Birds Attack one where it's like this horrible fucking green.
Oh, Birdemic?
Yeah, Birdemic. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
I
a
have seen
live
that
show.
one.
And I felt.
I watched the Chuck Norris one,
Which one?
Silent Rage. The one with the fucking zombie guy is like, oh, this is a
really?
weird. It was a riff tracks, of course. I'd never watched that.
Because I watched the Trucker one because that was like one of the first ones they had on there, and that was a god.
Oh, yeah.
movie. So I can't imagine the fucking other one. But no, sorry. I mean, other than the Amazon though, of like, because you said like the new Star Trek show was like doing okay, but it wasn't like great. Like, is like NBC like shit can that, or they just like is like get good enough numbers that that's gonna stay on there, or they've
What?
decided
The
the new
Star
Star Trek.
Oh, it's not on air. It's on their CBS All Access.
Oh, it's all okay. It's only on. Okay.
Yeah,
that's-
it's behind
I mean,
the wall.
it aired. The first 2 episodes aired on CBS, but otherwise it's behind. It's like their flagship show for their paywall, because they know Star Trek fans. Star Trek fans are the have more money than any other fan base in the world, save for maybe Star Wars. But that's
No,
because
Star
Star Wars
Trek.
got more people.
Yeah,
but
just
but
by
per
numbers.
capita, Star Trek has more money.
It's all Silicon Valley. That's why we have the iPad, because of Star Trek fans that went on to become computer geniuses.
Well, because like the Orville and stuff's like that's still on, isn't it?
Yeah, they both got renewed.
Oh, really?
So, well, see, like Star Trek Discovery still doesn't have. It's still in its first season technically, but it's been renewed for its second season.
Yeah.
So we got more of that to come, and then Orville has a second season pickup. I think even a third. That's doing really well too. Because they did a whole thing on the Red Letter Media guys, like talked about it, and they're like, it's like they like one of them's like, I like Star Trek Discovery because I don't expect it to be Star Trek, and so it's kind of doing something new, and I kind of appreciate that. But it's also I hate it because it's not Star Trek and it has Star Trek in the title. And then they talk about the Orville, and Orville is just straight up next gen, like it's Seth MacFarlane's next gen fan fiction. But like the reason he hates it is like he has like an encyclopedic knowledge of basically all of Next Gen, and he just sees every episode and he's like, well, I know what episode that came from. I even know the title of the episode and shit like that.
Did you see the Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek thing? I
Yeah.
put
yeah.
on Facebook the mock trailer. That was pretty
Oh
funny.
no, I didn't see the mock trailer. I just know
Oh,
that he's
yeah,
supposed to be
it's-
that there was an emergency meeting with him and J.J. Abrams because he had an idea for Star Trek, and they got some writer together, and apparently they're gonna at least get it writ up as an R-rated Star Trek movie. And I don't know if it's supposed to have the new cast in it, but like apparently they talked to Patrick Stewart, and he's like, "I'm game."
I'll do anything.
Oh, I mean, yeah. What else does he have going on? I guess.
Oh,
no,
he has a
there's-
lot of shit going on.
Well, he had a TV show on Showtime, and he does a lot of voiceover stuff. He still does a lot of shit ton of theater stuff. But I made it seem like his health isn't so great because he wants to do everything from where does he live? Is he like
England
just
somewhere.
somewhere in England, and like I know he just wants to do everything from his hometown. So like when he does the voices for American Dad, like that's just recorded in like his studio and in England.
Yeah, but
Like,
that can be done. That's
yeah.
done by almost everybody.
But like that's why he's like he does a lot more voice work more than he does like
Yeah, he has
acting work.
a really bad heart.
Oh.
It's not like a secret either. It's been an ongoing issue. Because when he called that one guy fat on stage, he's like, "Well, I'm gonna watch you die first." I can see your heart slowing down, old man. It got really nasty, and then they apologize later, like, "I'm sorry."
Oh, the British apology. It's like, I'm sorry, old chap. But no, it's. I mean, didn't mean to say like he had nothing going on. Like I know he kind of probably still had that show, and I know he's been in.
I think that show's canceled, but he was. I heard he was good in that. Was that Green Room?
Yeah, he was really
Yeah.
good in Green Room. Like I don't think that. I mean, it's kind of a. I don't.
Well, he did. I mean, the money he's probably gotten from fucking syndication money. He probably doesn't have to do anything ever again.
No, like he didn't take a very big. He took like Scale or something for Green Room. He didn't take very much money. So I mean, he's
whatever he's doing is for the love of the game. So
Yeah, it's,
Well, that was what was that? Patrick Stewart's F. Murray Abraham moment. Because then he played like the psycho gangster guy that ran the club.
yeah.
like white supremacist leader and shit. Yeah, like it was pretty. I would say it's a fairly good movie. I wouldn't say it's like a great movie, but he gives a really great performance, and so does Anton Yelnats. And the one girl who plays Friday in Arrested Development. Can't remember her.
Oh, Cat something.
Yeah, the actress's name. She's pretty good in it. But yeah, like overall, it's actually a pretty good horror movie. And there's good horror movies still coming out, but it seems like that genre is just really polluted with like straight to video bullshit, like it always has been.
It's always been that.
No, I know, but it's just like nobody like Hollywood doesn't seem except now that it.
No, whatever. Oh, is it James Wan? Is that the guy?
Yeah.
The Conjuring guy who was the Saw guy who did Fast and Furious, and now apparently he's doing the Aquaman movie just to see if he can.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a property DC wants somebody just seeing if they can do something on.
Well, that's why he took the job. Is like because as a challenge, it's like let's make Aquaman cool because everyone fucking think Aquaman's stupid. I didn't see that Justice League movie, but I always make him look like he's having fun killing people with a spear in that movie. So I don't know. They were in the trailers.
Well, when I watched the movie, like he wasn't an unlikable character, but to be fair, they didn't really give him a lot of screen time. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, he had some, but definitely not as much as obviously Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman. Like Cyborg and him were basically like, "Hey, we're here." Like, we'll say one or two decent-ish lines and have somewhat interaction, but otherwise not really exist. So it's I don't know.
Well, speaking of Amazon, you watched a series on Amazon.
Yes.
I watched a series.
Did you watch it?
What series was that?
Electric Dreams?
No.
Okay.
Yes, this was what was it? Shows inspired by the writings of Philip K. Dick, rewritten by all kinds of people.
Rewritten by some of the people that brought you Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Written by Ronald Moore.
I want to see a show based on the writings of Andy Dick.
No.
No, you don't.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
So what was your favorite episode?
I kind of like Autofac.
Okay.
And then there's some things I like. I don't know. There's some things I like about KOA. That one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or KAO.
Kill all others.
Kill all others.
Yeah.
And then I liked, is it Real Life? That's the first one, right?
Yeah, that's the first one in the American or in the Amazon run. Yeah.
Yeah, because like the first one was like the people that can read people's mind, the psychic ones.
The Hoodmaker.
Yeah, the Hoodmaker. Yeah. Which I don't know. That one
See,
had,
that was my favorite.
that one like I thought it had all the elements for me to like. But there's something about it that I didn't really connect with any of the characters at the end of it for some reason. So like, but I don't know. I was also like falling asleep watching that one, so maybe I didn't give it a good shake.
Well, the Hoodmaker had enough elements in it like, oh, this could be its own TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it had a lot of stuff going for it. And then the one the one with Bryan Cranston was kind of interesting.
That was almost just a 60s sci-fi one. Like,
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that seemed Twilight Zone to me.
well, it's just like what you think is happening happens. It's not, there's really no like big twist or anything like really subtle about it. It's just what you think is happening happens.
This can't be it. Yeah, this is it.
It's done really well, but I mean, it's good performances and stuff. But yeah, it just seemed pretty straightforward.
Yeah, some of the long ones were. The Impossible Planet got a little long.
Yeah.
It was tear-jerking, but you kind of knew which way it was going. I didn't like the one with Steve Buscemi at all.
No.
That was a slog to get through. It was like, what?
That was a lot of them have this problem, but that was one where it's like there's way too many ideas, and it doesn't dive into any of them.
Yeah.
I was like, what's a quantum consciousness? Like, I can fucking guess at what it is, but they're not telling me what it is. And there's like the pig lady, and there's like the dissolving coastlines. There's just all these things going on that don't resolve into any. Like, the only thing I could consider is that Steve Buscemi thing is all about like kind of a midlife crisis, or here even an end of life crisis, where he's trying to like figure out what he really wants to do with his life when he's dying. And so like the world crumbling apart and his life crumbling apart is like, I think it's all supposed to coincide with whatever Philip K's dick life was falling apart at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't a good one. It's like, oh, it started off like, oh, this is going to be interesting, and then it never went anywhere.
Yeah. That was one where we just had a problem with like way too many fucking ideas. Where also KAO had way too many ideas, but it worked better there.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of this seemed to be because what was the other one? The one where the girls in the weird future America.
Oh, and she like gets like the phone implant.
Yeah, where you got the hillbillies versus the city people, and
That was pretty good. I like that one.
It was okay. It's like that and Kill All Others. It's like, oh yeah, they're writing about the Trump thing.
I don't think they have time. I'm not sure if maybe they had time to write about it, but
yeah, they kind of did. They didn't. Well, this show had a weird thing because Amazon picked this up because AMC was supposed to do this.
Really?
And they dropped it halfway through, and then Channel 4 was the other partner, which is a British like TV aggregator network where all they do is shows other people produce. One of those British things, but it's publicly owned. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like BBC4. Like they do a lot of their weird. They do a lot of weird shows because I think that's where Spaced was premiered and showed that Erica or what the fuck his name, Baby Driver guy.
Yeah. Damn it. Put me on the spot with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, that's right.
Okay.
That was the show he did for. I think it was for BBC.
So he says like Eric and like
yeah.
But I was like, I can't think of the name.
I got the E right. There's an R in there.
Almost there.
It's like I just say something and like, well, there was an A in there. Yeah, yep, there was. Like, yeah.
So this thing kind of had a weird suspension in it because AMC backed out, and then Amazon's like, sure, Lord of the Rings, $500 million. Yeah, why not do this too, just for the rights. So yeah, they. That's where this came from. I don't know if this will be coming back. I don't know if it was strong enough on its own.
Yeah, I don't know, but
because a lot of people have said this is like Black Mirror light, or some people say, "Oh no, this is like Black Mirror heavy." Well, which one is it?
Well, no, because Black Mirror always deals with technology becoming awful in some way.
Yeah,
and irregularly good. It's like here's 10 episodes of how technology is gonna fuck you in the future, and one episode of how it could work in your favor.
The saddest one in here had to be The Commuter.
Which one was The Commuter?
The one where the dad's the train conductor.
Oh yeah,
and they get off of the invisible city, and then everything's okay, but it's like, I don't want that. I don't want my son to not exist. And he's like, he's just gonna grow up to be a criminal. He's going to do horrible things. And he's like, well, I still want to love him. You're a terrible father. I know, but I still love him.
And the city's like, and like when you delve down, like the city was just made of people who reprobates that were just going to do terrible things, but here they can be good people.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, somehow. But it was a tearjerker at the end. I mean, the show generally works on all levels, but it's like you said, it's an anthology show. It's uneven sometimes.
I thought this just pretty much seemed like a normal season of like Outer Limits. Like I didn't see anything like beyond that.
No.
The only through line was like all this stuff was based on Philip K. Dick short stories.
Right.
Although real life just seemed like a retelling of Total Recall, but just in a weird way.
Yeah, that was kind of like an inverse Total Recall, maybe, or something.
What was the original? Was that We Can Sell It to You Wholesale? Or
yeah, we
original
can sell
name?
your dreams wholesale, or something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. Yeah. But then he found out like a lot of, like almost all the stories had to do with like dreams somehow. It's like, oh, did Philip K. Dick just wake up and write his dreams and then take acid and then write whatever happened after that?
Yes. Never read any Philip K. Dick. It's like, this is the father of sci-fi, and it's like, yeah, and it's about as hard to get through as a Burroughs novel. Some of it's pretty approachable, but a lot of it's just like, oh, they loved drugs in the 60s and 70s, didn't they? I mean, Dune is that through and through also. So.
Yeah.
There are definitely some gems.
Yeah, I've never read any of his books, but it always seems like when they get turned into movies, like you find out like how sanitized they are to make them palatable to an audience.
How approachable they are. I mean, sometimes some of Philip K. Dick's books it's like you're reading what's the guy's name? It's like you're trying to read Gravity's Rainbow sieved through mushrooms or something. It's like, what am I fucking reading? It's like, this is based on the novel that brought you this movie. It's like, oh, the movie's cool. I can see where some of these ideas came from. But yeah, that was Philip K. Dick, though. He was like, if you read The Man in the High Castle, it's like, oh, this is really odd. It's compelling, but it like changes focus so much, and just otherworldly things happen with no real reason.
Hey, I guess what if they pick this up, that'd make more sense because now they have 2 Philip K. Dick productions. Then.
Well, Philip K. Dick's grandkids are taken care of. I mean, everything he's done has been optioned in one way or another.
Was he successful at the time he was writing, or has he just become successful over the years?
He was a voice, but he was also kind of like how would you say? Who's the guy from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, the journalist?
Hunter S. Thompson?
Yeah, he was sort of Hunter S. Thompson in his attitude. So it was kind of like Philip K. Dick always got the vibe. It's like, I want to talk to you. Just read the work. Let the work do the talking. Why the fuck do you want to talk to me? I got to drop acid and write shit. That's sort of the vibe I got. He had some serious lucid moments where he did talk about things intelligently. Philip K. Dick was almost as much a futurist as he was a writer, like a coherent writer.
Yeah.
It's like Ray Bradbury was a very coherent writer. Like, you knew, oh, this is a Ray Bradbury story. This is what I'm going to get. There's going to be characters. There's going to be a central follow through with those ideas. Where Philip K. Dick is kind of like, I'm an artist, and we're going to fling paint, and we're going to draw lines between these things, and I don't know why they connect, but they will, because I say so. So, yeah, it's a little different. But there's nothing wrong with that. Just depends on how far you want to go with your sci-fi. And I'm sure other people have very different opinions from me about it. But I generally like things. I'm in the camp of like, let's have things make sense. Then I'll go with the ideas. Because even Frank Herbert and Dune, it all makes sense. You have to pay very close attention. You got to take notes. But yeah, it all makes sense. But some of the stuff gets a little esoteric, I guess. It's like we're going to talk in dream states and in the fourth person. It's like, well, why did we change that course in the middle of the book? We didn't start this way, but somehow we got here. And
Okay, we'll let David Lynch do that, but not you.
well, again, it's all what you expect. If I eat a vanilla cupcake, I expect a vanilla cupcake. I don't want to find a creamy center of madness at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm supposed to be asleep and I'm reading this book. But sometimes it's good to find that creamy center of madness. Sometimes. If you're hoping for it.
Yeah, a lot of these, you get to the end of the episode and it's like, well, I wish this was a TV show, because what's more interesting is what happens after this than really the review.
Well, that was the thing with the Hoodmaker. It's like, there's enough here for a quality TV show if you can keep the writing and the momentum up.
Yeah.
I saw a whole TV show in that. There's a lot of these things that work, yeah.
Because I thought that about Autofac. See, because I talk about, like, okay, like this one group of habitants, like, they're the outliers, and they just, so apparently everyone else was just living just fine with this factory getting provided with all this stuff to them.
Yeah.
And then they just stop all that. So that means everyone else is fucked.
Yep. What happened? Somebody just reset the zero line. No! God damn them.
You know, and I also like the whole idea that, like, this all that survived this nuclear war was this factory, and they decided to repopulate humanity so they could have consumers again.
Yeah, kind of a desperate inverse consumerism. I could see that.
And then somehow the robot people, like, get sick and decide they need to destroy the factory. I don't know how that works, but I guess it's just imagined, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all deep in their programming, and the one girl knew what was going on.
Yeah. I like that part where she, like, cuts her head open, and, like, at first you just see, like, brain and stuff, or just her skull or something, skull and red stuff, and it's like, oh, is she not? And then it's like she said, like, I could look past it, and then you start to see, like, the weird, like, you know, blue brain thing casing or whatever. It's like, oh, their programming hides themselves from each other.
Yeah, this looks like a bad idea. And it's like, oh, wait a minute.
And then, of course, that thing with the, like, the, you know, like, she has that Time magazine. It's like, oh, she's going to be on the cover. But then you hear it, like, immediately, because you see, like, you know, she's standing outside the city when the city gets hit by a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
She watches the missile blow up. And then they immediately say, like, oh, that was 30 years ago. I was like, well, she doesn't look 30 years older.
Yeah. Held up well living in the apocalypse. So, yeah, this is the first outing in a while for some of these people. Because Ronald Moore hasn't really done... I mean, I know he's writing for Outlander, too.
Yeah, well, he's like an executive on there.
Yeah.
So he's got work to do there. And I think he says some other show coming out on Stars.
He might. I don't know.
There's
Just glad to see him. Just glad to see him back in the game.
Yeah.
Post Caprica sadness.
Yeah, that's what that's why I kind of hope they did. They do that USS Callister show. It's like, oh, they could do all the things that Caprica got wrong.
They could, yeah. Is that supposed to happen, or is that still in the...
I don't know. It's just rumors right now, so who knows? But
I didn't realize what a cast reunion for Breaking Bad Callister was.
Oh, who?
Well, Jesse Plemons.
Oh, he's a voice, just right. Oh, yeah, Jesse Plemons. Oh, yeah. I forgot he's in
The
that.
captain, yeah, and then who else was in there that was in that?
Well, he had the voice of the guy who played Jesse.
Yeah, the guy who played Jesse. Has he done anything else? I haven't seen him in a while.
He has a show on Hulu. What's it called?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never watched it. It's
Oh.
like The Following or something. Like, no, it's not that shit. It's something about like a cult or some fucking shit.
Yeah, it's like
I
a
can't remember.
yeah.
It's never seemed interesting to me. I don't know.
I hear good things. I just never decided why because I'm not really interested in
Yeah, I don't have
cults
Hulu.
and stuff.
Well, just like there's the one, God dang it. The guy, the assassin that was blacklisted and like lived in Miami with his mom. That show, I can't remember the name of it now.
Oh, fucking Burn Notice?
Yeah, that main guy's had a show now. It's actually has a second season on Hulu called Shut Eye, and I
Yeah.
can't watch that either. So
Yeah.
it's just
Is it Jeffrey Donovan? Is that his
Yeah.
name? Yeah.
like it seems like an interesting enough show because it has some good people in it, but at the same time, it's just like no, it's good.
So anyway, Electric Dreams, check it out. You might find something you like.
There'll be at least one of those you like.
Yeah, that'll be at
Some
least
of them you hate, and other ones you'd be like, okay.
There's none that I really hated.
No, I mean, that Steve Buscemi one's pretty.
Yeah, I will never watch that again. But it's not like I want to write an angry missive about it. It's
No.
like they just lost their
Well,
way.
I thought, well, the episode's so bad, but you like Steve Buscemi so much, you're like, okay. I didn't hate Steve Buscemi in the episode. It was just a lot of the episode just never really came together, and then like a lot of those characters didn't really make sense. And like I said, too many ideas.
Yeah, too many things hitting the wall.
And everything's stuck.
I didn't know that Cranston produced this too,
Yeah,
or executive produced, whatever that means.
Yeah, I
put
know
his
he
name on it and got some money to go to the project.
Yeah, is this? I mean, that's the second Amazon show he's produced. 'Cause otherwise, he produces the.
Oh, Sneaky Pete one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So if him and Amazon have some kind of lucrative contract.
Yeah.
Well, everyone does now.
If you get a second season with Amazon, you get a second show.
2 for 1.
Well, because I don't think when does Amazon usually announce? I mean, they did that kind of weird thing for a while where they had pilots and they had people vote.
They still do that, but the last one they did was for I Love Dick, The Tick, and the Jean-Claude Van Johnson, and then all those got greenlit, and then 2 of them got canceled.
Well, I was wondering whether we're going to see the next lineup of vote for this stuff to get picked up, and then
I'm not. It looks like they're like kind of like dialing down on that because they used to produce like here's 12 pilots, like pick the ones you want to watch, but now like it's like last year was 3, so it looks like they're dialing that down. So
Well, I mean, I know they had Alpha Dog was one of their first shows.
yeah,
and
or Alpha
Betas.
House,
Alpha House, sorry.
and Betas, yeah.
And Betas, and I actually kind of liked Betas, but I watched like most of it, and I didn't get picked up. But it's like in the age of like everybody has their own streaming service now, or is going to, and everybody's got their own set programming. I think Amazon would latch onto that a little bit more than just relying on other people's content between Star, Showtime, HBO, and stuff like that.
I mean, they're planning something. I mean, right now they make better movies than they make TV shows. And it's kind of the opposite with Netflix.
Yeah, it's always sad we run.
Although 70 million people watch Bright, so that's getting the second one.
Yeah. Well, they already announced like 2 weeks ago they were making a second one. So.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Like I'm always disappointed when I watch like a movie or actually pay money to rent a movie where it's like Amazon Studios like, fuck, I could have watched this guy.
Yeah, I bought The Big Sick and then now it's streaming right now.
I know. It's like, god damn it. Like, still doesn't make it a bad movie or anything, but at the same time, it's like, damn it, I paid real money for this.
Yeah.
I could have just fucking used my Amazon Prime.
Didn't they produce that Nerve movie?
Yeah, I think they did.
I hear like mixed things about that. Like some people really love it, and then other people think it's stupid. It's like, what is it like about VR or something like that?
I think so. I don't.
Oh, you haven't? I thought you saw it.
No, I haven't seen it. It's just something where it's like I think I saw the trailer once and I vaguely remember it, but stuff like The Wall with Aaron Taylor Johnson, John Cena, which was kind of.
They produced that?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was just a WWE production.
No, it was Amazon.
Okay.
But I think I talked about that on the show because I
Yeah.
was like, "That's the most bullshit sniper movie I've ever seen."
Yeah.
It's like I mean, not some of those things probably could have been done, but like half that, no. That's just
a video game sniper at some
yeah,
point.
it's just like video game fucking sniper shit.
Of course, now John Cena's supposed to in talks to star in a
Duke Nukem
Duke Nukem movie.
Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
which
That'll be great.
back 20 years ago.
Actually, never.
Yeah.
When you go back to Duke Nukem, it's like, oh, you think Duke Nukem is cool until you see all the other pop culture he stole all his lines from.
Try to figure out why they think this is a good idea, because the video game bombed so goddamn bad.
It's just name recognition.
Like, no video game... Or, wait, has there been a video game movie that succeeded? Because I don't think there has.
The Resident Evil movies, technically.
Because between... Oh, God. Assassin's Creed and fucking... Yeah, I mean, Resident Evil and... I swear I'm forgetting, like, one or two.
The Prince of Persia movie.
Well, yeah, Prince of Persia, but also, like...
The Tomb Raider movies.
Yeah, Tomb.
That's got a new one. Reboot.
Well,
coming.
that one looks more promising. The reboot looks more promising. I don't know
Yeah.
if it actually will be, but I'm sure there's like an Uncharted fucking movie coming down the pike at some point.
There was supposed to be one with Mark Wahlberg, but I don't know if that's happening anymore.
No, I don't want to have Mark Wahlberg anywhere near that. He is a fucking horrible actor. He does not deserve to be in anything good. Or anything that could possibly be good, I guess is what I should say.
He has his moments, but yeah, he's not a great actor. Well, he can be a great actor.
Yeah,
it's
but
just people don't use him right. Well, I think the thing with Mark Wahlberg is he's like everybody's fourth choice. So, but he's like too reliable. So like all the three choices ahead of him always like drop out of the movie, and then like, well, Mark Wahlberg's ready to go. That's why he's in so many fucking movies.
I wonder who the hell. I mean, I know he's been in the Terminator franchise for what, 3 movies now or 2 movies?
Terminator. I mean,
or not Terminator. I'm sorry, Transformers.
Transformers.
Yeah. But, like, I wonder who the hell the first couple of choices were for those fucking movies, because, I mean, I wouldn't believe him as a fucking engineering scientist if my life depended on it, but...
No.
Apparently...
Well, you couldn't buy him as a scientist and fucking the what was the M. Night Shyamalan movie he was in?
Happening?
Yeah, yeah, God.
Even as
that was one of the funniest fucking horror movies.
even as a high school science teacher, he's unbelievable.
He's too dumb for a high school science teacher.
It's like, yeah, and he's even been an astronaut in a fucking movie in Planet of the Apes, and that was more believable, unfortunately, than him. It's like, yeah, I believe they'd shoot that guy into space. Like, he's pretty expendable.
Oh yeah, because I don't know. That's the thing. Like, when you get Mark Wahlberg, you don't get like interesting character development. You get Mark Wahlberg being Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I know, and like the best.
And sometimes that's used correctly, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I know, and it's sad because like the best movie.
I mean, he's really good in Lone Survivor. He's fucking great in that movie.
No, it's fine. He's fine in those roles.
Yeah, it was like,
but I mean,
bro
like,
movies.
Probably the best he's ever done in any movie, as far as I'm concerned. What was that one movie with Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese movie?
Oh, The Departed.
Yeah, he was really good. He was good in that movie.
I hear one of his early acting things where he's still like Marky Mark was like, I think people like him in the Basketball Diaries, and there's some weird horror movie he did around that time too, that they like him in, where he plays some weird, like psycho guy.
Yeah, it's called Fear.
Oh, is it just Fear? Okay.
Yeah. It's like F.E.E or A.R. Because he literally plays a stalker. The only part I remember about the movie is like he had like when the woman's either like viewing his arm through the mail slot or something like that, like fucking carves the name into with a ballpoint pen into his fucking arm. So it's like, yeah, that's pretty believable. I've never seen Basketball Diaries. I hear that's a good movie, but I think I saw one part where like somebody's blowing an old man in a bathroom stall in that movie for some reason, but.
Unlike Leonardo DiCaprio, like imagines himself like shooting up his class with a shotgun at some point in that movie. Something like that happens.
Huh? I don't remember.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I just know things about that movie.
No, I was just trying to think of fucking. Oh, yeah. Anyway, no, but Mark Wahlberg would not be my first choice to play.
He's nobody's first choice. He's everyone's,
I know.
He's everyone's fourth choice, and he's too
trying
reliable.
I'm also trying to think of who the hell would play him anyway, because, like, wasn't it?
What are you talking
like
about, Duke Nukem?
No, Duke. I'm talking about Nathan, just like as Nathan
Oh.
Drake.
Nathan Drake.
Like,
Well, it would have made way more sense years ago to have Nathan Fillion play him,
yeah,
because
except
his model is basically Nathan Fillion, and he sounds like him too.
except that ship's fucking passed.
Yeah.
And so like the best now is pretty much probably getting Chris Pratt to play him or something, but he's got probably so much shit on the shelf. I don't think he could.
Well, I mean, there's no reason to have it be a movie, because like
Yeah.
it's like the video games are great, and the last one tells a pretty good story, and like it ends well. There's the only reason to bring it to make a movie out is that if you want name recognition. So
Yeah. I mean, technically, no, because I was gonna say, isn't like the next person like they talked about taking up Indiana Jones' mantle was basically Chris Pratt, or was it somebody?
yeah, I've
else?
heard that, but then he has so much shit on his plate.
I swear it was somebody else too. They were talking about. But
Well, they're like rebooting every Harrison Ford movie, and like they're basically like, can we get Chris Pratt?
no, he's too busy doing stupid Jurassic Park movies that make no fucking sense, or he's too busy. Or Guardians of the Galaxy is probably his best project, but at
Yeah.
the same time, no, I'm.
Well, actually, it's the Jurassic Park movie made more money, but I think for money and critical acclaim, it's the
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, I was watching stuff like the 5-Year Engagement like a couple months ago, and like, oh yeah, Chris Pratt's in this movie. They're just like all these movies, like, oh yeah, Chris Pratt's in this. It's like amazing how much shit he was actually in before.
You remember Wanted?
Yeah.
You remember the guy who hits with the keyboard?
Yep,
That's
I
Chris
know.
Pratt.
I remember Chris Pratt from Parks and Recreation.
Yep. Back when he was Fat Pratt.
Also in Delivery Man is the advice giver and lawyer to God damn it, what the fuck's his name? Big tall guy from Wedding Crashers, not Owen Wilson. I think,
Like him and who's the guy who plays Deadpool?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. They kind of have similar clears because like Ryan Reynolds started off as like the goofy like roommate and two guys, a girl in a pizza place.
Yeah.
And now he's an action star.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really
or Chris Evans, like his first movie is like he's gonna be in this teenage spoof movie and not another teen movie. Now he's fucking Captain America.
Yes, but the important thing is everybody had horrible flops along the way. Like Chris Evans definitely was not very good in the Fantastic Four movies, and nobody was any good in those movies.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like everybody always points out online. It's like when Marvel basically recycles somebody that was in another movie that failed for superheroes. Like, oh, look at Chris Evans. He was he was the Human Torch. Now he's Captain America. Oh, look at this guy from the new Fantastic Four movie. Now he's a villain in the Black Panther movie.
Yep.
it's like yeah, all these people can be just recycled endlessly. There's only so many actors. Like I still have yet to see. Like I wish they would actually release like something for Tom Hardy as Venom, because everybody says like, oh, it's so great. It's like, from what? Like obviously they're watching dailies or something, but there's like this comic book or Comic-Con trailer or whatever. It's just like Tom Hardy talking about his role in Venom. It's like, who gives a shit until I can actually see something on film?
I mean, people just like imagine like that'd be cool, but you know.
Well, it's still like I don't know what he's. It's obviously Venom's gonna be the anti-hero,
Yeah.
and like is Carnage gonna be in it? Like what exactly is gonna be
I
going on during
think-
that movie?
I may have heard, but I don't know.
Like what kind? Because obviously Spider-Man can't be in it, so there's no plot there, and so otherwise it's just Venom.
Well, I mean, he can now.
oh,
Or who's making it? Is it Sony making the Venom
yeah,
movie?
Sony is making
Okay.
the Venom movie.
I didn't know if they own Venom. Well, I guess they would. Yeah, never
Yeah,
mind.
Spider-Man universe. So, I mean, they're also doing the new. It's a dual. The Black Cat and the. God damn it, can't think of the other. It's a superhero movie that comes out in like 2020, where it's the Black Cat and another like female mercenary or whatever. It's like a duo movie.
Yeah.
That's another Spider-Man universe one that Sony's doing. I can't think of the damn name.
Electra and Black Cat?
No, it's
Oh.
some off. It's not anybody that's like a main person.
Oh, okay.
But it's, yeah. So otherwise, yeah, like Sony's still trying to do their Spider-Verse thing, and I don't know if anybody's universe movies is doing well anymore. Like I think Pirates of the Caribbean hopefully should be dead now,
Probably.
Like you can watch the newer one on Netflix and it's serviceable, but it's not anything grand.
Well,
And-
that Monsters universe that Universal's trying to do, that's dead.
yeah, I hope so.
They did that Mummy movie, and they're like, "We're gonna do 5 more movies." Never mind.
We're done.
I mean, it would have been nice.
Actually, I don't think it's officially dead, but the guy who was supposed to be running it, he left the project, so I don't think anybody's picking that ball up.
If I left the project, do you mean he's in a barrel at the bottom, at the bottom of the ocean?
No, he's probably doing something else.
Yeah.
He's probably making millions of dollars, failing somewhere.
Well, because I know before they had like Scarlett Johansson attached to Black Lagoon and stuff like that. So, I mean, but that was like forever ago now, so I'm pretty sure that's.
Well, they had like Johnny Depp as like the Wolfman or some shit like that.
Yeah, fuck that. Johnny Depp just needs to disappear for like a decade. Then
Oh,
have a career
he is.
resurgence. Like that's basically what
He's working towards it.
Not fast enough, god damn it. He's gonna. What he's gonna
Just
be.
wait till the Me Too movement hits him. Apparently, he beat his wife, so you know,
Oh.
there's ex-wife.
Well,
Well, not according to
Kevin
Doug
Smith.
Stanhope.
Oh, Doug Stanhope. Okay.
oh. Well, you know, Doug Stanhope is present all the time in their home, in every corner and recess. He was always there. But no, it's. I mean, what does Johnny Depp have on the slate for releases? He's definitely in the next Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie.
Oh, he is.
And I swear there was no, because that was the switch everybody was pissed about. Because Colin Farrell was playing that character, and at the end of the movie, oh no, it's Johnny Depp in disguise. It's like, why the fuck did you need to change
Oh,
them?
Johnny Depp shows up in that movie.
Yeah,
Huh, I
like
didn't
at the
know.
end, like it's Colin Farrell as the bad guy the whole movie, but in the last 5 minutes, he drops his magical disguise, and it's Johnny Depp, the evil wizard. And it's like, why the hell did you need to do that? He could have just been an evil wizard that was Colin Farrell. It's like it's not.
Yeah,
gonna-
Colin Farrell knows what's up. Like, this is just a toxic ride to obscurity. Let's let Johnny Depp take this over.
Guy that I always found interesting as an actor, speaking of ride to obscurity, was Ryan Gosling. He would do some of the weirdest fucking movies.
Yeah. Looks like he doesn't care.
Yeah, it's like, what are we gonna do now? Well, you've just come off this big, kind of had a good hit with Drive. Where are you going? I'm gonna do some gangster drama where I basically stare at this other guy and kind of cry the whole time. I'm gonna show scenes like with like velvety red nightclubs that really look beautiful, and we have no context for anything.
And
I'm
all
on
these-
board. Okay.
And all these karaoke scenes too; those make no sense.
Yeah.
Are you talking about?
Yeah.
Place Beyond the Pines.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Oh,
The-
I thought you were talking
The
about
God, well,
the one
well,
in Thailand.
the other Nicholas Winding Refn movie he did.
Yeah.
God Forgives.
Yeah, Only
Yeah.
God Forgives. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
trying to
that's-
watch that
That's
too.
eerily similar. That you can like peg two movies on that description.
Yeah, they're the same fucking thing. It's just one's a little more coherent than the other.
Well, really, he got his biggest hit was, well, I'm not sure what his biggest hit was, but that fucking romance movie he did where with Rose or no, not Rose,
What the song
Rachel
and
McAdams,
song and dance movie?
Notebook.
huh?
Notebook.
The Notebook, yeah, that was
Oh.
huge.
I thought you were talking about La La Land.
Well, there's
No.
also like Lars and the Real Girl is a good, or I mean, a pretty big indie movie anyway. I don't know if it still is followed very well, but yeah, I mean, La La Land now and Blade Runner and what was that one with Steve Carell and
Crazy Love?
yeah, Crazy
Excuse
Love.
me. Oh.
Oh yeah, that one.
But like, yeah, other than that, like on the fringe actors. God dang, I had one and then I can't remember it.
Do you know where he got his start or his first big role was?
Mickey Mouse Club?
Maybe, I don't know.
No, really it was, but
Oh, it was? Okay. Well, I remember.
he was a Disney staple child actor.
Oh, okay. Well, God, I remember like so like back in the '90s when it had like the Xena and the Hercules shows.
Uh-huh.
So they had a young Hercules show, and he was young Hercules.
Oh, okay. He's a good-looking man, no doubt. But holy shit, after I saw Drive, I was like, oh, I gotta check this guy out. He must have done some cool stuff. Well, kind of, I guess.
No, I love all those fucking weird movies where he doesn't really have to act; he just has to stare at things. He's a good
Yeah.
starer.
They're intense.
Hollywood's best starer. Can he act? No, but he can stare the fuck out of a scene. He can look into the middle distance like nobody fucking else.
Like The Nice Guys is another really good movie. Is it?
Oh yeah, that shows off. Yeah, he actually can do comedy pretty well too. Yeah.
That's the one with the art thieves.
No.
No.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else.
That's the one with him and Russell Crowe.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty funny.
By the guy who wrote Lethal Weapon, Shane Black. Yeah, Shane Black.
No,
I think I told you I watched a Russell Crowe movie a while back. It really made me miss Russell Crowe.
What's that?
Master-
Romper Stopper.
Well, I've seen that, but no, that doesn't make me nostalgic for Russell Crowe. The Master and Commander.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was like, oh wow, this guy is really an amazing actor. What the fuck? Where'd he go? Just finally pissed everyone off.
Oh, he's been doing stuff. It's just most of it hasn't been good.
Yeah, like watch the next 3 days is a good movie, and then there's obviously Gladiators, one of his better films, Master and Commander. I know everybody was pissed off about him in Les Miserables, but I've never watched that movie.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah.
That's the only musical I like.
Apparently, him and Hugh Jackman are big good friends now because of that movie, because they like to break out into song and shit.
Also, did that him and Ridley Scott did that Robin Hood movie, which
Yeah, and that
most
was really
people
bad.
hate.
Yeah, that was I watched that because I like Ridley Scott and Russell Crowe, and it was one of those things where it's like I kind of enjoy this, but I can tell how this would be torture in a movie. This is one of those things that requires let's have an intermission here. Let's get some cheese sticks and kind of rethink our position. Yeah, it was a little long, but I enjoyed it.
No, you know another actor that seems to not care if the movie's complete fucking shit or not? James Franco. I mean, because Disaster Artist is, I still haven't seen it yet. I've heard a lot.
We tried to see it, but we end up going to see 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri instead.
Yeah.
Which is a really good movie, but
Yeah, no, it was a really awesome movie.
Why couldn't you see the Disaster Artist? Just
'Cause
the
it
wrong
It
showtime.
wasn't showing.
Yeah, it wasn't showing. It was still it was playing in New York and LA still, and it wasn't wide yet.
But no, I just watched a movie that was recently posted to Netflix about a haunted bank vault heist with him in it as one of the lead characters, and it's like, why the fuck is he in this movie? There's a couple other actors. There's one other actor you can spot, which is the girl who plays Pennsatucky in Orange is the New Black, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only actors that have any credibility in that whole fucking movie. And it is the most logically shittiest edited fucking horror movie I've ever seen. Because the makeup's done well on the ghosts and shit, but there's a part where they're drilling into the bank vault in the basement, and on the one camera where it's actually on the guy with the drill and everything, all the equipment, the torch, it's a huge drill, a big flame, because he's also cutting into the drill lock at the same time. And then it cuts the security camera feed. He's just standing by a blank door. There's nothing on the door. And it's how the fuck do you miss this in editing? This can't be right. And then just all this inane bullshit where it's just people just go missing, go through walls, and end up with their heads blown off by a shotgun. But somehow it's Ghost. And just James Franco's there the whole time, just yeah, you should really not trust her or whatever. And just just have 5 lines at a time, and then the movie ends, and it's he's a ghost from the 80s. And then that's the movie. It's what the fucking hell is this shit?
Yeah, I always call James Franco Hollywood's greatest trier.
He is. He'll fucking try anything.
He has 3 fucking film degrees.
Really?
Yeah, he got his acting degree at UCLA. He got a writing degree at Yale, and he has a director's degree from NYU.
So why the fuck is he in shit movies like that?
Like I said, he's Hollywood's greatest trier.
I mean,
well, he's also directed 20 films you've never heard of.
But at the same time, it's when you think of an actor and how they accept a role, it comes down to either obligations from a contract.
I just imagine something that goofy is he's probably doing a favor for a friend.
That's what I was figuring, but at the same time, it's is there something in here that drew him to this project where he just had to do it?
Maybe, I don't know.
Where it's I've never played a ghost before. I don't know, what else he was.
Oh, speaking of heist, have you seen the new trailer for Hurricane Heist?
Hurricane Heist? The fuck
No.
is that?
Yeah. Oh, they're doing a heist movie during a hurricane.
God, next to it.
It's by the director of Fast and Furious and Stealth. Rob Cohen. And Triple X. Can't forget that. Directed the original Triple X.
Who finances this shit?
I don't know. I was looking up, was like, because it looked really fucking cheap, but it apparently had like it's got like an $80 million budget or something like that.
It
has the Australian. Well, I guess he's not Australian. The brother from True Blood in it. It's like I kind of like that guy. It's like I want to see him in more things.
Yeah, because he needs a paycheck so he can survive. Because I think True Blood's in syndication, unfortunately, so it's not. I don't even think it's on Netflix anymore. It was on Netflix for.
No, it was an HBO show.
But no, I know it was an HBO
it's
show.
over.
I'm just
It's
saying,
gone.
no, but oh god, what was it? Like what? Okay, so what heist movie has been made so far in some kind of natural disaster or apocalypse situation? It seems like there's not many left.
I mean, once you did Hard Rain, I mean, where else were you gonna go?
Yeah, I know.
Hard Rain was kind of the apex of that.
I was thinking of like how to write like a cheap genre movie, and it was called Halloween Heist, where they pull out a heist during Halloween, of course, and at some point they're actually like dressed as bank robbers and walk by cops with like real money they stole from a bank.
Yeah, but even during Halloween, I think the cops.
And then they have like real guns, but they paint orange tips onto it to make it look like they're not real guns.
I wonder if I mean, not that I'm gonna go buy a gun, then get orange neon spray paint and spray paint the barrel to make it see if it looks fake enough to pass. But you think they would just like almost take like PVC pipe, spray paint the neon orange, and glue it to the end of the barrel, because then it would look like the plastic pieces on the end of a fake gun, instead of spray paint, because then it's just flat spray paint on metal.
Well, I didn't make it yet. That was just the idea.
Shut up! Your head is
Giving it all away.
I was just trying to think of like, what's a cheap genre movie I can make, and I was like, I have like 3 robberies I could think up, and it's like you basically just make one set of a bank, and then you move shit around. You create 3 different banks, and then like the big action scene, I was gonna be CGI. But I was gonna have it was gonna be a car chase through a hill at night, and the idea was, it was like a guy was like drifting around a hill on the bottom.
Yeah.
But you just film it inside of a car, and like the car just looks all like it's blacked out because like he doesn't have any lights on, so so it's harder to chase him. And so basically it's almost like the inside of a submarine, and he's just like driving like basically like with data coming in from like different shit, so like you just have it do it in a car and he's like pretending to drive, so that way you don't actually have to film this stunt.
Yeah. That would make a lot more sense.
Well, I thought that was kind of like a neat idea. And the only other thing I had was like, well, this is like too big, but like I've thought of anyways, but like something where the way they have to like get to a place is like they build this big like seat thing on top of a roof, and like they build some explosion, and like it blows through the floor on the top, and they just keep falling through floors until they eventually get where they're supposed to be, and they're just in these seats, and they just like start shooting everybody in the room. And the room again would just be like the one set you build at the bank. We just redressed it.
Yeah.
And there was no plot to it. I had no plot to it. I just had the ideas for a bank heist that would be cheap.
Yeah, but I mean, bank heist movies, like, what do you really need for a plot? This guy's sick. I have a gambling debt. Whatever the fuck it is. I mean,
I don't know, but it's like that bank heist stuff is like what really made Point Break, because it's not really a great movie, but it's like some great ideas in there. With the fucking president masks and shit like that, just made it really fucking iconic. And then they even got like recently with what's the Ben Affleck bank heist movie?
The Town.
The Town. Like Town was awesome.
Yeah.
And which was just like Heat. Heat was one of the greatest movies of all time. It's just, you just keep going back like, no, it's a great movie. A little long, but you know, it's great performances.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah, just and great when they're just like firing guns off in the middle of a city, and it sounds really, really, really fucking loud as the sound bounces off of buildings that are really close to each other.
They show people reloading guns. It's the first movie I've ever seen that. People have to reload.
Yeah, and they still don't do that enough. I mean, I know
Well,
they just
John Wick is the only one that keeps close to it.
yeah, because otherwise it's just like they quick cut away from the action. That it's assumed that they reloaded their weapon in
Yeah.
the time that you cut to the bad guy getting killed or whatever.
Well, I mean, some of the guns that they give these people, like, they have such high magazine capacity. It's like, you can, like, it's fine. But it's like, when anybody has a revolver, it's like, they should be reloading.
No, I know. 'Cause it's like every time I see a TV show or a movie where I watch and they have a revolver, I count the shots and I'm like, bullshit, 10 shots! I didn't fucking reload. Not once. It's like, fuck you. And it's just always this, like, high-pressure situation where it's like, even fucking Walking Dead has done it. Where it's like, they had a revolver, it's like, bam, bam, bam. It's like, okay, it's either 5 or 6 round revolver. It's not going to be more. It's not a fucking 22. And then it's like, nope, still like 5 zombies later, it's still fucking firing. I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Well, I think what John Wick's really doing well is they go, like, shooting a gun at somebody is really not that interesting or cool. What's really cool is when the guy has to reload in some weird way because his arm is mangled. And he has to, like, fucking hold the gun with the back of his leg to shove the magazine in there and, like, fucking cock it with his shoulders. Like, that's fucking cool. Like, you're thinking around shit.
What I liked about Heat was not only just how concussively loud they made it, but it also shows, like, how wildly destructive, like, concentrated fire, like, because those police cars were just, they weren't exploding and catching on fire, but the windows were all blown out, the sirens were falling off, the headlights were coming out. It was like, yeah, that's what happens if you fire a fully automatic weapon at a car, even a police car, because they're not, like, bullet resistant or anything. And the North Hollywood shootout shows what that looks like in real life, which is actually a lot less exciting because it's just kind of vignettes from a camera.
No, I mean, I think that's something more action movies are actually embracing is, like, actual, like, realistic gun violence where, like, a wood table isn't a bulletproof vest for, like, a whole magazine of fucking armor-piercing rounds. Or, the hero has to reload, or, people just magically don't fall from the rafters with every shot you take or whatever. It's just not just endless cavalcade of bullshit arcade crap we've been dealing with since the 80s.
Well, that's just kind of, that stuff is just, it's easier to produce that way, and a lot of it's in editing. It's like, you have to make a concerted effort, and it probably, like, it's probably cost them hundreds, maybe like $500,000 to bother for the John Wick movies, to bother to keep that consistent.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably a cost that most people just like, fuck it, move on.
Well, I know, but, like, the most glaring movie I've ever watched where it's like, he didn't fucking kill anybody, or at least near the amount of people he supposedly killed, is Commando. That fucking movie, if you watch the point where
he killed the guy with a saw blade by just throwing it at him.
But at the same time, when he starts the raid on that compound, you just see him go like this and just keep firing, and just guys fall from everywhere. Just like...
That was the 80s, though.
I know, but it's just so fucking hilarious to watch. Like, how did people take this seriously in the 80s? Who was, like, so pumped to, like, he's fucking murdered him? Like, it doesn't... It's
My
just so
favorite
sad.
movie from the 80s was, with that kind of stuff, was Terminator. Because it's like, oh, the Terminator can arm himself with fully automatic weapons from a gun shop in Los Angeles. Like, where did he get fully automatic weapons?
He's mechanical. You can just do that bump trigger thing.
Yeah, he's bump firing at a inhuman rate.
Isn't there one scene before he goes to the police station where he's up in that, like, red lit, like, room or whatever with guns out on the table? Was he possibly just modifying them after he bought them because he knows how to do
I don't know. There's a weird Hollywood, that's been corrected over the years, but there is a weird misconception that people can go into gun stores and buy rocket propelled grenade, fully automatic weapons, flamethrowers, artillery. You can tell people that have never seen guns or been in gun stores before think that, like, oh, this is what middle America's like. It's like, I'll take a deer hunting rifle and give me an RPG-7. Throw that in. Let's get the penetrator rounds on that. And can I get a belt-fed machine gun? How much is that? $100? Okay, yeah, I'll take 2 of those. You know,
Where are you
that's
from? Oh, I'm from Iowa. Does your basement look like that scene from Tremors?
Well, we should just make this clear to our listeners right now. You can only do this type of behavior in Texas. That is the only place this is allowed. This is RPG-7s and machine guns for days, but anywhere else. Like, I recently learned that Iowa is now a stand-your-ground state.
Yeah.
oh, good. We don't have to worry about civil lawsuits then when you shoot people dead. Of course, you should always try to avoid shooting people dead, but it's nice that if you have to, you can't be sued as long as it's justified.
Well, the only reason I know that now we are a stand-your-ground state is the fact that literally it's being used as a defense for this one guy in Iowa City that gunned down like 3 people in the Ped Mall and killed one of them.
Was he being attacked by all 3 of them simultaneously?
That's basically his defense, but the prosecutor's case is that all he saw was a Facebook post or about some deceased person that he liked and they didn't, and then basically went to go confront them. And
Yeah,
shot
it's always smart. Yeah, bring a gun to that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking brilliant.
Bring a gun to a Facebook argument. Welcome to 2018.
But, you know, supposedly, like, he only fired. One of the other guys did have a gun on him, but never drew. And so it's like, basically, like, where's your self-defense argument here? Because it's like you ambushed them coming out of someplace and then tried to shoot all of them dead, and then ran away and ditched the gun. So where's your self-defense argument for that? Doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Self-defense,
imagine.
but it seems like you did a lot of guilty things. Like you're trying to hide that this ever
well,
happened.
that, and he also claimed he didn't shoot anyone. So yeah, that's kind of a.
Well, I guess we're gonna mount a defense. Like it's like it wasn't me. Prove it.
It was the one arm man. It was a one-arm man. The one-legged-
Burden of proof is on the prosecution. This isn't the Me Too movement.
J'accuse. Yeah, I don't. That's always brilliant when I hear those stories. Just ruins it for the rest of us. Those of us that are interested in lawful killing, this kind of stupid. I just can't imagine like what I'm gonna say on Facebook. Some argument about it's like, yeah, I like the Wrath of Khan era Enterprise. Oh, that one sucks. It's like, oh, me down at the bar, a couple guns. It's like we're gonna solve this once and for all.
Boo!
Yeah, just
I guess I'm right.
yeah, you're dead. I'm right. I just can't imagine what the hell I would even argue with him. Even if someone came up to me and like, give me the keys to your car, you're like, okay, I'm not going to shoot you in the back as you're running away. You got me. I don't understand this shit. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there that live very, very miserable lives. And they're just waiting to be set off by that one person. Of course, I like the shit that people say on Facebook anyway. It's just like, yeah, I don't know if I didn't really care for this movie, or I think this policy position is not the right fiscal route for our country. Fuck you, fat boy. It's like, oh, this is the reaction I was hoping for.
Oh yeah, just like there's been some stuff that comes up on my wife's feed since I don't have an account. I just look at her stuff occasionally, where it's like talking about Trump's policies or whatever, Russia investigation shit, or just anything basically bashing the Republican Party. So I think one time I made a comment that, you know, in a year Trump has, you know, fired Mueller and like basically been accused of all this other stuff and does all this other fucked up stuff in a year. And then somebody just responded like, "Fuck you, snowflake," and then just like, it's like, really? It's like I'm a pretty little snowflake that needs protecting from like, yeah.
Well, I kind of expect that on like the big issue, big stage. Like you don't know where that shit's coming from, but I like the one when like our water utility is having a millage this year, and it's like, I think everyone should vote for that. I think we need to upgrade our water system around here. We've added a lot of houses. We're only raising it. You know, our property taxes aren't going up $5,000 a house. I think this would be a good thing. And otherwise they're just going to update it and raise our water bills through the roof. So, you know, I'd rather, you know, do the millage and all this stuff. It's like, fucking government, fuck you guys. You just want the government to take care of you. It's like, yeah, I don't want to drink raw sewage there, Billy Bob. I know I'm fucking, what a pussy I must be for not wanting the, it's like, yeah, those people are screwing us. It's like, yeah, the thieves down at the water plant, they're just rolling around in cocaine and whores down there.
I mean, I think
Idiots.
I think since you live in the same fucking state that Flint, Michigan, is, or that Flint is in, that you would fucking pay more respect to your water systems, but apparently.
Well, and half these guys that are saying this shit on Facebook over people like, I agree, or yes, I think that's good. And you hear a lot of people say, I don't know, we did something 2 years ago, but, and then to get down to fuck you're like a government water shill. I don't know what. But I know half these people live in fucking trailers or rented apartments where it's not going to affect them anyway. I mean, their rent might go up, but it's like you're not communicating to me that you're a homeowner in this township that has a valid opinion of I don't think upgrading the filtration system and adding a reed pool to our water system is a way for Obama to turn us queer. I think we just probably, because we've added 8,000 homes in the last 5 years, probably need to update this. But I guess because I'm not willing to sack up and drink raw sewage and bathe in it.
Well, if you eat a Tide Pod with it, it'll be just fine.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I was waiting for the fluoride argument to pop up, but it actually didn't. I don't think it was a deep enough pull. But being as I've actually met a flat earther and spoke to him, I figured, well, the fucking fluoride thing's got it.
Where's the Floridians?
Yeah,
where's the fluoride freaks?
I guess I could bring my wife along. She can argue that point with you because she seems to believe in that shit.
What, flat Earth?
Fluoride.
Oh, fluoride. Yeah.
Flat Earth, she would be my wife. Fluoride.
Oh.
I mean, that's one of those things where it's, for me, it's like
all you gotta do is look at America and look at England.
Yeah.
It's like, nope, more fluoride in my water, please.
Most of my smile is titanium and porcelain anyway. I could use all the help I can get. But yeah, I mean, I've heard the arguments pro con, but I don't think, again, this is where I don't jump right to, this is a conspiracy personally aimed at me to murder me. It's like, that's where it goes too far.
I always just heard it as like fluoride makes you docile, more susceptible to suggestion or whatever.
It's a heavy metal. It can fuck up your organs. It is poisonous at a certain concentration level, but I mean, so's orange juice. But it's just, I don't want to get into the fluoride thing, but I was just saying, I'm surprised that on our water bill thing, I didn't like hear fluoride brought into it, because like I said, we're just clean water shills over here in the township. We're just shilling for the government. That's why I got a Bugatti in my garage, because I sold my soul to the water cops.
No, it's just sad how I mean, yes, it's not good for government to be involved in every fucking aspect of our life, but at the same time, is it really that bad to have, like, healthcare or clean water or fucking education for everyone?
What government is for is to provide services that people need that are not profitable.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks like, oh no, everything we do we can make a profit off it. Like, no, we fucking can't.
Yeah, I don't want to be on some private water utility plan for this many ppm of fecal matter comes at this price. But if you upgrade you'll have much less feces and larvae in your drinking water. No, I don't want to be on that plan. I don't
know. I think people should I mean, I know the whole, if you go to college or even high school now, they have basically, like, everybody kind of needs to touch on all these different curriculum points. But just taking a basic accounting class will teach you that any corporation, just like any government or any economic system whatsoever, has a profit and non-profit center. You can't just, like you said, you can't make everything a profit center. There's going to be something that doesn't produce anything besides a good or service that's needed by another center to function or to live. So like people need to realize that shit instead of like you said, where it's like, oh, they're trying to drain us of all our fucking money, man. They're making all this goddamn money off of water and making all this goddamn money off of stamps. Like they're just fucking rolling in it. Those fucking holiday stamps, man, buying them mansions. Like, like not doing that shit.
Motherfucker that delivers my mail has a heated swimming pool. I can't afford toilet paper to wipe my ass. It's like, what do you base that on? Just hate and rage. the engine that fuels me.
My inability to discover other people and my imagination.
My lack of social skills.
You think it might have something to do with the amount of money you spend on beer and smokes every week? No, it had nothing to do with that. Fuck. No.
That's not just a hobby. That's what I need to live.
I mean, shit. I mean, a lot of times I see stuff on Facebook where I'm really worried that somebody's really gonna go fucking overboard because all this. Like, I thought by now people, the anti-vaxxer shit would be, like, dead and gone, but that's still fucking alive and well. Or all the goddamn people, like, all the hopes and prayers bullshit, like, always fucking going 24/7. It's like the...
I like the scientists, like, spent millions of dollars to prove that was all bullshit and vaccines are fine. And, of course, you did a scientific experience to people who don't believe in science.
Yeah.
You might as well...
That's like teaching Wiccan to the Christians. They don't want to hear it.
You might as well said Jesus came down to you in a dream and told you vaccines were safe for everybody.
You know, if a scientist came out and said that, way a lot of opinions.
Oh, no shit, that's what the headline. Did you guys hear about this in Texas last week?
No.
A judge in the middle of a court hearing for a woman that was sexually trafficking a young girl and abusing her stood up and said, God spoke to me and told me this woman is innocent. So I just want everybody to know that I usually don't do this. So meaning he has this epiphany a lot or something, but this woman is innocent and I want you to, God says she's innocent. And then
I'd stick my hand up as a juror and be like, guilty.
My God versus yours, fuckhead.
Who's the God now?
But then the jury found her guilty anyway, so I'm like,
good.
I'm like, thank God. Why the fuck?
Oh, good. Proven. There is no God.
But it's like
only Xanthor.
But it's like, why the hell is a goddamn elected official a judge that's supposed to go off evidence and hard facts and proven guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, going off of shit he hears in his fucking head during his lunch recess?
Oh, where did you say that was?
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a very Texas thing.
Well, did you hear about the judge in Canada? You know, which is like, if you listen to some people's, like, the ultimate liberal enclave of coolness in the world. Did you hear about the judge in Canada that when he was this girl said she was raped and he was like like the judge, not the prosecutor or what they call the crown up there, but the judge was like questioning her, like, are you sure you were raped? I mean, were you dressed like a whore? I mean, did you in any way this? I'm not making this shit up. Judge in Canada is like, when you dress that way and you act that way, you really can't say rape. Rape is a serious crime. And this is not, and I don't even know if he was right. I don't, but it's like the fact that he said it like out loud, like that came out of his mouth, and it's like, oh, this is really...
This is some shit I think out loud with my buddies at the pool hall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it to the court.
Like, you went to school for fucking 12 years to get a law degree, and you're just gonna spitball this, like, hey,
and then you're a lawyer for X amount of years, and then you're elected to this, and...
a judge, or I mean, I don't know how it works in Canada, but like, if someone told me that happened in Kentucky, I'd be like, yeah, okay. It's fucking Canada, okay. And I've heard shit in Australia that's even worse.
Well, there's a fucking...
Australia's got weird problems anyway.
There's an ad for YouTube that made me really fucking weirded out the other day, because, like, I don't know, a month ago I think I read an article about how, like, Dubai's having really bad, like, foreigners foreign women from like the UK and US go there and they get raped, and they can't press rape charges because that's not a thing. They get jailed because they got raped.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've heard about that.
And so then I see a travel ad for going to visit Dubai, and it's literally 3 young men get to the airport, and they see 3 attractive young women arrive at the airport at the same time. Then they're like, "Oh, hey, look at us, we're so cool." And they're like, "No." And then it must be a famous actor or singer or something, but he enters the picture and like, "Yeah." And then they literally both rent different Jeeps of different colors, and they pass each other, go the opposite way on the road. And then the guy's car breaks down. The girls don't want anything to do with him still. And then the famous guy or whatever he is picks him up again. And is like, "Let's go get him." It's like, it's like, how is this not a passive travel ad for rape in Dubai?
Like there's like a fucking scene cut with like stars. Like 1 hour later, this chick handcuffed to something, drugged behind the Jeep in the desert. Yeah, this is why you don't go to these fucking places. Let's go get them, guys.
Which half do you want?
Let's impregnate them and make them our slaves.
But yeah, it's like the whole thing with the whore argument too, because there's like they actively don't like the guys, but then like the minute they pass them when they're broken down, like one of them has a coy smile, like "Oh, she's a whore." It's like, let's go chase her down. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, really? It's like, just because a woman like smiles at you or like acknowledges your existence doesn't mean she wants your dick in her holes. Like, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. It means she wants your.
I filled out enough punches on my knife guy car. Where's my pussy?
Click. Like an anatomy chart. Well, it says I'm there. We're gonna punch this out one way or another.
I've been really nice to you this whole date. There's been a lot of blowjobs just holding up on the back dock here. When are we gonna take care of that?
Yeah.
No, it's.
Oh, there's literally some guys think I held a door open for her. She's gonna be the mother of my children. It's how crazy are you? Are you just uncoupled from reality?
Oh, crazy, lonely. It's a weird
Dichotomy.
yeah.
I just assume most women don't want anything to do with me ever, so I don't even try to be nice. Could you help me? No. I don't know where this is going, but I guarantee you're not going to get anything out of it. So the answer is no.
I'll be nice. It's like, "Oh yeah, thanks for holding the door open." And it's like, I'm not doing this out of kindness. I'm doing this. I know if I don't hold this door open, like, you're gonna cause problem for other people. So get the fuck out of my way.
No, it's just weird because there's a lot of. I mean, especially on Reddit recently, there's been a lot of shit where people just post text messages from like, "My sister tried online dating," or "Somebody tried online dating." It's exactly the same thing where it's like they said like one compliment to them or like acknowledge their existence, and it's like, "So do you want to fuck?" First, it's like, "Hey, can I get your number?" So it's like, "No, I don't know you." And it's a completely rational answer. And then it's like, "So we're not gonna fuck." It's like, so what the fuck? It's like, apparently people just think all they have to do is say hi, and then it's like, "Well, you gonna take your pants off now, or do you want to do a little bit of foreplay?" It's like,
I like the thing that I heard that happened when there was this girl somewhere that worked at a place that I don't know what it's called, but she worked at this place, let's say, and she was attractive. She was young, and all these guys kept asking her, basically, "Hey, you want to go out? You want my, no," wouldn't leave her the fuck alone. And then finally she said, "Look, I'm a lesbian. I didn't want to come out and say this, but actually I'm in a relationship. I'm a lesbian." Guys didn't miss a beat. Next thing, it's like, "You want to have a threesome with my wife?" It's like, boom. It's like lesbian. It's like a barricade. It's like that Tron cycle, like a barricade came up. We're going right down the other road. It's like, you gotta be shitting me. Human beings, grown men said this stuff, huh? Okay.
Well, I had to read this thing for my sociology class. Was it called like the tea room trade? It's like an old study like did back in the 60s. You don't think about it's just like gay guys blowing each other at rest stops.
Yeah.
So apparently back in the 60s they were called like tea rooms.
Okay. Massage parlors.
Yeah.
Bath houses. Yeah.
public parks.
Oh yeah.
And so the guy investigated this thing. He's like, all right, what's this all about? And he didn't tell anybody he was taking any of this stuff, so that's why it's brought up as it's like, is this ethical? Like, he didn't tell anybody, but he was like pretending to be a voyeur, which I guess he just find that as like another part. It's like some people just come there to watch. He also found out like 70% of the people there weren't gay guys, or
Yeah.
I'm sure if they're sucking or receiving dick in some manner, they're gay. Like,
oh yeah, in some way, but like no, like he divided everybody up, and he found out like the common factor there is that they just need quick anonymous sex, and guys are the most horny people around. Like what they want is no attachment. So
Yeah.
like, and also it was like so like one of the groups is called Trade. They're
Okay.
called Trade. You know, like it's part of the trade. And it's like it's mostly like middle class younger people who are married.
Okay.
And they don't want to buy hookers, so these free blowjobs in these rest stops, like it's an economical way to get your rocks off.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing like bucketfuls of testosterone. And I'm looking for a relationship, and I want someone to look at me with the cold, dead eyes of a raccoon while they're sucking me off. I want you to have all the emotional depth of roadkill.
And then there's the ambisexuals, which I guess that was like nerve for pansexual now would probably be the term for it or something like that. And then there was the gay guys was another one, and then there was like a fourth category. And it was all about, and it's all had something also
Serial killers.
yeah. Also had a little something to do about aging and stuff like that, because like all these people are like they're like in the last years of anonymous sex, like, but like some of them are looking for a long lasting relationship, but it's and there's also something like the older you were, the more you had to be like the guy who had to suck dick. So
Yeah.
like if you another guy went in a stall, if you were the young guy, you got your dick sucked, but if you had to suck, so some
Yeah.
50-year-old guy was sucking a lot of dicks that day.
That's another thing about being over 40 and over the hill. You're now the pivot man.
so that's where the term came. You gotta suck a lot of dick to get a prince. Like, no, when you said like long-lasting relationship, I kind of like, really? People expect a long-lasting relationship out of anonymous quick sex in a bathroom.
No,
stall.
but like they're looking for a long-lasting relationship, but they aren't finding it.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
But like it was like some, but it was like, more like so it was talking about like how a lot of it there's like it's mostly younger it was because like other people are searching for long-lasting relationship, but then their greatest stories are the tea room stories, like that den that they shut down, like, and then they burned the place to the ground, like that was the best 5 years of my life.
All those double jointed Chinamen.
It was like guys like on their way to work, like they're gonna stop, like they just had this rest area, like we're all gonna blow each other in this rest stop before we go to work.
Oh my god.
Thank
Yeah,
God
I'm-
for all
But
that
like,
porn.
it was like a bunch of stuff what you just assumed about it. It's like, oh, it's just that thing from there's something about Mary, right? Where it's just gay guys blowing each other at rest stops. And apparently, like it's not as easy as that. It's
No.
No, it just sounds like something where it's like, well, I'm glad porn's caught on, because, not that...
Oh, this stuff still happens.
no,
but,
I know it still happens, because there was... Oh, God, what park was it that's over by Quaker Oats and stuff on the hill? I can't remember what the hell it was called, because they shut down the bathrooms there because of people having gay sex in there and shit, so I don't know.
Well, I like the
But-
thing from the UK, dogging. It's where just men and women show up, and there's like dogging spots and there's dogging websites, but you just act like two dogs in the park, just show up and screw each other. I don't even know who they are or whatever. It's like it's ruining their parks and their public areas over there, because it's been going on for a decade or more. And part of the thrill is not to wear a condom and stuff like that. It's like, oh, have they cured AIDS in the UK and they're keeping it secret from the rest of us? It's who are you meeting on an anonymous website? It's like, let's screw in the park. I don't even know what you look like. Just, okay, well, I got a BMW. I'll flash the headlights twice. Okay, I'm in. Like, wow, that just sounds like AIDS in a can. But what were you saying, Conlon?
Oh, I can't remember. So.
Oh, talking about bathrooms that have been shut down.
No, I was saying that.
Oh yeah, it just seemed like what this the way that the people that this guy interviewed and talked about it just seemed like somebody put out a flyer. It's like anonymous sex party. Like, all right, and then nothing but dudes showed up because they're like, well, these dicks aren't gonna suck themselves.
Yeah, it's not gonna suck itself, Paul. Yeah, I can't see women showing up for that. You don't want to be the one chick that shows up and there's 60 guys there. Like, this is gonna turn into
you got a lot of work ahead of you.
You're not gonna sit right for a week. Oh,
Either that or the serial killer is gonna pop up and your body's gonna be in the bottom of a ditch or something. So it's like,
oh, that's just part of it. That's all part of the thrill.
Yeah.
yeah, you don't know if you're gonna get your dick sucked, you're gonna suck some
Get
dick,
your
or you're gonna
throat
be
split.
Yeah, like,
Is this the night the lights go out?
It's me and David Carradine. Like, that's what we're gonna carry this to heaven.
We're gonna float like angels.
On the wings of orgasms.
Yeah. The noose around our neck and our dick in our hand. My legacy is secure.
God damn.
I'm completely sober saying this shit, folks. Can't even blame the liquor anymore. All right. Well, I think on that note, I don't know if I have anything else to say, or I should say.
Oh, we sure we don't want a 4-hour podcast, so.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 hours of this, folks. All right. Well, this week for the American Greed Factory podcast, this is Nathan.
This is Conlon.
Andrew?
Goodbye, America.